And anyone got their YouTube on?
Yeah, I got a tab open for the stream.
Oh yeah, we're out there. Anyone got their YouTube on?
There we go.
Okay, I'll turn the audio off on that. Awesome. Shazam, everyone. Good evening. Yeah, I know that's my little call sign for those of you who haven't had the pleasure of listening to me, having your ears just bleed. There's a story to that. Oh, there we go. Internet problems, Derek, or?
Yeah, that's working a lot better now. Yeah, I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, really?
Hey, Derek.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Good.
Hey, Derek.
I'm still missing one or two. That's okay. Thank you, everyone. I've been wanting to do this forever to get some new faces and some of the old faces from Bricklink on here because, other than my regulars, like I haven't had a chance to even talk with you guys before, or see what you guys are doing, how you do it. Because every year I keep thinking I'm going to do what you guys do, and then I realize I can't. There's a reason you guys are doing it and I'm not. I have to fix this so I can get the next one on. Oh, this is rough.
Puppy dog.
You can't believe what just happened to my screen. I can't see you guys now.
Oh, no.
No. There we go, 306.
What's up?
Hello.
306.
Good evening.
Hello, 306.
If anyone else comes on, I'm screwed because I can't see them off the bottom of my screen.
306, that's Saskatchewan, isn't it?
You know it.
Oh, now see, I'm so dumb. I'm trying to figure out what's the reasoning behind putting the number in front. So that's your area code?
That is now one of our area codes. We used to only have one until a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think we're up to 5 between me and Brad. Something like that. Is it just 5 now? I don't know.
Yeah,
I lost
it's
count.
5.
It was nice when we were all 416 and then became 416905, and then there's 647, all this other garbage now.
Don't you see that beautiful brick? It's the Saskatchewan flag.
It's funny. I look at that and I'm thinking Jamaica for some reason.
Come on.
Actually, I should full screen you guys. I just have you guys on a small screen. Okay, that's better.
Okay. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Yeah, Belleville Toy Show. Him and me finally connected. Ken's been trying to get him and me connected forever, so I finally have a connection. Good to see you, Mike. Mr. Blue, good to see you this evening. Sadness, nice to have you. I know some of my regulars won't be in. I don't expect to see Eileen tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a couple of softballs for a bunch of you guys. So I'm going to ask you a few of these softball questions early on, but I'm not going to ask my regulars first because I pretty much know the answers with them. Let's start with 306. Jordan, we got to get you to change your name so people know your name. You can put your first name in there too, but you could do that after you answer the question. How long you been on Bricklink, and why'd you do it? Why are you a Bricklink store?
So actually, March 1st was my 2-year anniversary. So I just had my 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
I started it
How long I've been on.
probably like most people started to supplement their Lego addiction themselves. So for me, I am a specific Star Wars ship collector, and I wanted to buy more, obviously. And I just wanted to figure out a way how to pay for it with Lego. So started, and I really enjoyed it. I've made a very awesome community around me. Nice thing about Saskatchewan is there's not a ton of stores, and to be honest, I have a very good communication, great relationship with most of the stores here. I've helped start 3 different ones in Saskatchewan. So kind of, I guess that's a catch-22. You make competition, but I don't look at it like that. It's this isn't my full-time job, so it's not the big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should have included. I like to know, and I don't want anyone to tell anyone, oh, I make this much money. That's nobody's business. But I have been curious, is this, for everyone on screen tonight, is this a full-time gig? Is this just something you're doing because it's cool? Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's interested in this because so those of us who don't have stores, we're fascinated by the idea that you guys are doing Lego and you guys are making it, either a real business or a side hustle, or just, hey, whatever scrap parts someone wants to buy off me so I don't have to look at it anymore, you guys are doing it. Derek, Sustainable Bricks. How long you been in the Bricklink biz, and why'd you start?
I started actually today is my 4-month anniversary since opening.
Congratulations.
And I originally started, I think like anybody else, it's just I had a lot of stuff that I didn't really want as far as Lego. I've been a collector all my life, and so I decided why not give this a shot. And now it's kind of blossoming into more than that. I've been buying more like collections and stuff and parting them out and doing that. So I'm part-time right now, but it's going quite well so far, and we'll see how far that goes. I'm working part-time outside of this, so I'm kind of spending about 50% even right now as far as my other job, and then Bricklink, and hopefully I can just kind of keep going more and more towards the Bricklink side, but we'll see what happens in the next year or
Nice. More. Awesome. I just wanted to acknowledge
Rocky.
Yeah, I wanted to acknowledge Rocky Post. He's in the chat. I'm going to get him on screen one of these days. I mean, he likes to talk on his Facebook, videos. We're going to get him on screen one of these days. He runs the Canada's largest Facebook group, and he just started up a secondary group for events, Bricklink Stores, whatever you got going on. Brad could probably speak on that a little bit later. That's enough promoting for Rocky. Bye, Rocky. Tyson.
Hi.
So what's your story? How long you been a Bricklink store? Why?
So I gave all my Lego to my nephews. My one nephew.
And we end the stream right there. Okay.
Yeah.
He closed his door.
My one sister, my one nephew, gave me back about seven Rubbermaids full back at one point. Most of it was Star Wars stuff, but there was an awful lot of Bionicle in it. I had a friend who was working at the Lego store, and he told me about Bricklink. He's like, you can sell all that on Bricklink. And then I looked at it, and I was like, I can get way more per piece than I can selling the sets, because I had spent, 4 to 6 months putting everything back together in sets. And I'm sure glad I didn't sell those sets, because I didn't know the difference between the grays back then.
Oh.
And so I listed just the Bionicle stuff about 5 years ago, and then it just blossomed from there. I've absorbed 2 other stores in Edmonton, and I've got one partner, and now I'm renting out a space to store my 250,000 parts.
Wow. Okay, that's one of the few times I've heard of someone swallowing their competition or their neighbors.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest mistakes I've made. The pieces were in such a mess. He had new mixed with used. Never buying a store again without looking at the contents first.
Oh my goodness.
That's where they just hold up and be like, which one was the new one? This one.
Yeah.
The new one.
I have no idea how he fulfilled the orders. Still finding minifigs from his stock that have mistakes in them.
Really? Okay. That's disheartening, really. James, Newfie Bricks, welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
What's your story, my friend?
I always liked Lego, but a couple years ago, I didn't have that much, actually, believe it or not. So somebody introduced me to Bricklink. So I was like, I'll give it a shot, see what happens. Now I'm buying sets that are a couple $100, which I would never spend a couple $100 on a set. So I'm doing well enough that my hobby pays for itself. I do it really as a hobby, not really as a business. Who knows? Okay. Maybe one day maybe I retire and I want to do it as something else just for fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's been great. It's worked out. I had to look at my account. So I joined in March 2019, but I didn't really start selling, I think, till the end of 2020.
Oh.
So I've done well enough to buy. I have quite a few modulars, and I just bought the Daily Bugle last month.
So
so I'm doing.
How come
well
you weren't
enough.
selling? Like what's the
Before? Actually, I was selling a little bit. I was actually bagging up pieces and then selling them for $5 a bag.
Okay.
And then one time I was selling like say more than 1,000 pieces for like whatever it was. And that's kind of how I started. And then I moved away from that because it was taking so much time. But Bricklink, people don't really lowball you. They just pay obviously the price.
Compared to Facebook, oh
Yeah.
my goodness! Everyone expects this ridiculous discount if you're in
Something
Facebook
for nothing.
Marketplace or in the groups. I don't, I participate in the groups. I buy from all you guys in the groups. I don't sell in the groups. People are brutal. They expect us 10, 15, 20% discount just because we're all nice people. It's like, come on,
I had someone ask me for a free order.
Yeah, I did too today.
Today?
He said it was his birthday. I said, sorry.
I don't want to get off topic, but anyway, that's pretty much it.
I've also had that happen.
I've got a question for that later, so that's great. Marshall, I've been wanting to get you on for so long, my friend. Because I feel like I've known you, and yet I don't. So, how long you been on Bricklink, and what's your story?
Bricklink, as a registered user, probably about 6 years. As a seller, 5 years-ish. And my story is my wife was probably going to divorce me if I didn't subsidize my Lego. So, basically, I got back into it when my mom brought all my Lego back for my kids. And I went nuts. And yeah, went crazy. And I talked to a couple stores here in Edmonton area, and they just said, yeah, you can really subsidize your addiction by this. And that's how it started. So,
nice.
Yeah.
So, Brad, please tell your story.
Hi, Rick.
We go way back, so I get to pick on him.
Do you want the Coles notes or do you want the long story?
As long as you don't chase the women away. No.
Can't chase me.
No, awesome. give us your give us your 2 minute. Give us the 2 minute version. Yeah.
I probably, like a lot of people, had Lego when I was younger. Get into your 20s, 30s, life happens. Get away from things. Got married, had kids, got back into Lego. Started buying a little bit of everything for the kids to find out what they were interested in, what they weren't interested in. And was like, okay, what are we going to do with this? I don't know. Let's sell it. Made $1 or $2. Started doing investigations. Came across Bricklink. Been on Bricklink for, well, it seems like forever. It's got to be close to a decade now. As a store, though, on Bricklink, maybe 6 years as a store on Bricklink. And now I'm in the process of transitioning from Bricklink to my own e-commerce store, which is btlgbricks.ca. And that's my story in a nutshell.
Nice. Very nice. Kathleen.
Yes, sir.
The only woman who dared to show up on my panel.
I said I would give it a go.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
We're glad to have you. So what's your story, my dear?
I didn't grow up with Lego. My brothers did, but I was already away from home at the time. And when our daughter was born, she was about 1.5 years old. My husband came home with a Lego set that she was far too young for. And it kind of snowballed from there. Just growing with Tori and buying sets for Tori for Christmas, and just kept going on from there. I still have all her sets. And I just was buying Lego bulk, going to the antique markets. We'd go down to Southworks here in Canada, and oh my gosh, down into the States, going to the antique markets and bringing Lego. And hubby was getting a little upset at me because the Lego was growing. And so I was on Bricklink, but I was only on Bricklink trying to put things together. I was trying to do the Death Star and all this stuff. I still have a few Twilight and a few Star Wars ones left, but I've given them up for him to part out, and I've been selling them. Well, I only started selling, I think, from 2000, maybe 18, late 18. I was on prior to that, though, because I thought, okay, let me try selling something and see what happens. And it just snowballed.
Okay.
And grew from there. And we just revamped the whole laundry room because it took over my laundry room. So today we spent all day long revamping. He cut out shelves from a unit, and so that we could put the Rubbermaid on wheels, the drawer system. I don't have all the little fancy drawer systems like some of you boys have, but I do what I can. Some of my stuff is in Pepsi trays. I use it, and I use Pepsi trays for shipping. I don't know if James noticed that or not. I use recycled Pepsi trays for making boxes and shipping. I have everybody saving them for me.
Hey, that's a resource if you can use it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You got to rent out the services of your husband there.
Well, yeah, he's saying that, the drawer system, it's because I'm 67, I'm too late in the game to put such an investment out, for the drawer system, and it doesn't make sense to me. So if somebody wants to buy me out, I don't really have a lot of overhead, and just try to keep it low key that way.
Sure. I know a lot of people don't use the drawers. They use numbered bags, and they know where the bags are, and that's how they tie it to their system.
Well, we revamped the whole room, so I'm going to have trouble finding things.
Yeah, that muscle memory's gone. You got to start over.
Yeah, it's like starting over, so we'll figure it out. But that's where I am. Yeah.
Awesome. Jacob, my friend, I've known you for about 2 years now. But I don't know a whole lot about your store or when you started it. And so what's your story?
I started the store at the end of November, just because I had I buy a bunch of Lego sets for my own personal collection, and I used to collect all the extra pieces as just like a fun thing to collect as well with the sets. And one day I just realized I don't need these extra pieces. So what am I going to do with them? Well, a few people came to me and said, yo, you could sell these pieces on Bricklink. There are people who make mocks who will want the pieces or just trying to repair sets. And I was like, okay, works for me. And same thing goes for like minifigures, because I'm starting to get into the buying duplicates of sets to army build, and there's figures I don't want. Somebody else will want them. So
absolutely. Yeah. And that's been my temptation. It's not to get into the business you guys are in to sell figures or to sell sets, but I don't mock anymore. I wish I had the time. And I got all these pull drawers, 50,000, 100,000 pieces. I'm not doing anything with them, and I'm foolish. I'm like, I should be selling them, but then what you guys do is work. That's the way I look at it. I know you get some of you, it's a side hustle. For other people, that's the bread and butter. That brings in the money. But it's like, I don't know how you guys do it. I'm always impressed, and to hear the stories and see the photos and videos of your operations, because you all do it different, but somehow it all works. There's no one way to do it. I'm always amazed by that.
I think what happens is once you first make your first $100 and you see how easy it was, and you get addicted, and that's the curse of Bricklink. I find is you can make a pretty decent money to subsidize the addiction, and in my own what happened to me is I just find I don't have any time to build anymore.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a lifestyle change, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it, like I had friends who said, "Oh man, I should start Bricklink," and I'm like, "Do you like to build? Yeah, then don't start Bricklink." Me, I love collect. I have in my mind, I have a very beautiful collection of what I have, and I have sets I need to build. But I look at them; they're sealed, and it's like, do I open it now? Do I build it? Like, what do I do? And that's like for Jacob. I bet it's very hard for you because like I've talked to you before, and I know you're mainly a collector, and then you also now have a store. It's like, what is the value? What is going to happen? Yeah.
What it really depends on is what you want out of Bricklink. If you want it to be a hobby type format, there will be time to build. All you're doing is just trying to make enough money in order to buy a set that you can build and have fun with. When I first started into this, there was no way that I anticipated going full time. Very quickly, though, I saw the opportunity of possibly being able to retire, not work for anybody else, and work for myself. And that was huge to me. I could be home with my kids. I could look after things here. Like there were so many benefits that outweighed any negative aspects of being part-time to full-time. And if you would have said when I started that a little plastic brick was going to let me pay the mortgage and feed my children and do all the things that have been able to do with it, I would have said, you're nuts. Yet here I am, I'm able to do it. And, it's been very quick as to how fast the transition has happened when I really think of it. It's surprising. It's been fun. It's been great. I found my wheelhouse, so I love it.
The weird thing I found though with Bricklink is like I've actually never had any personal dealings with any of you except Kathleen. I think you were one of my first people I ordered from way a couple of years ago.
Thank you.
And Bricklink has made a massive friend base for me. Like I call them I have two mentors. I call them Bricklink. One's Chris Barkley, Beamsville Bricks, great guy. Me and him talk every day. It's awesome. And then Rob from Sumo Funhouse or Brick House in Regina. I actually got to see his store, and it was like I was like a kid in a candy shop. And I talk to him once or twice a week, and it's great. The friendships you make. That's to me, it's been honestly one of the best parts.
A question I have. It's fun. So you brought up your connections to Kathleen. How many of you actively have purchased from other Bricklink stores, say in the recent past? Like now that you're your own store. Wow.
Yeah, Jacob was actually
I have once.
first buyer.
Just once.
I still build. I still need parts, stuff that I don't have.
I complete
I've
figures.
bought them from Tyson before. I bought them from Marshall. It's what we do.
Yeah.
Do you guys,
I've
sorry
only
to cut
once.
you off, do you guys make any effort to say, hey, I'm such and such store, can I buy from you? Like, are you trying to negotiate deals, or are you just being a regular Bricklink buyer?
I was just trying to be regular Bricklink buyer,
regular.
but the whole thing was a kibosh. She sent me a reproduction helmet, and it was just a bad experience all over. Normally I stick to what I find. I am still trying to put a few things together, much to my husband's dismay. But because he just said, what do you got all these sets for? So I handed him over one today and said, okay. But, it was a bad experience, but mostly I just stick to selling. And if I need something, I just kind of wait till I find it and it never comes my way through. It's a scramble too to find good bricks.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of competition, and especially in this area, I'm in Hamilton area, Stony Creek, and so there is a lot of competition on trying. We went all the way to a year ago, February the 14th, Valentine's Day. We went to Toronto. And we got the Lego home. I don't know. The garage was dark. We didn't look at it good. My husband said, I don't think they fed these kids. Everything was chewed down to a mash.
Oh, no.
It was just, but there was a lot of smoke. Like we got our money out of it. But it's a scramble to try and find bricks.
Especially vintage bricks.
I've
Yeah,
noticed that
vintage is
When you're
another
trying
one.
to fix an aged set, with
Yeah.
age appropriate, era appropriate pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
luck.
because it's nice to have when you've got a store. It's nice to have the variety, of course.
Mm.
Yeah.
I find in the past 2 years with COVID, and then you've got the Lego Masters. I know here in Edmonton, it's pretty hard. You got to be quick. I know, like Tyson and I, we talk all the time, and we'd be like, "Oh, did you see that one? Did you see that set?" And sometimes we're like, I'm going to leave it. I'm here in Sherwood Park. He's in Edmonton, but now I see nothing. People
Yeah,
are
it's crazy.
posting huge hauls, and I'm like, where did you find this stuff?
There's a
Well, I
guy on
don't think
TikTok.
Brixie helps.
There's a guy on TikTok in Edmonton who had recently 2 massive hauls. One Star Wars one had 2 Disney castles in it.
Wow.
That was impressive. I asked him how much it was. He paid up for it, but he's a collector. He's not a reseller. So,
okay.
it's honestly, it's also who you know. Like I have 4 guys who are collectors. Whenever they want to sell Lego, they just come directly to me. And so it's it's always nice to have too.
Yeah, you got a
It's
picker.
there,
That's good.
but you're gonna have to go find it.
Yeah.
And that's probably 80-20 rule definitely applies. 80% of my time is spent sourcing product, right? 20% of my time is spent on the store itself.
Well, sourcing's the fun part.
Yeah.
You
certainly is.
can't tell me when you get a
Can
bulk
be.
haul and you look
I have
at it, like, look at these
I have
treasures.
suppliers, I don't know, around the world now, which is great.
Wow.
Able to bring them in all over the place. But yeah, it's for what you were talking about before with other Bricklink stores. I have always been, and I have worked with other people in the past. Collaboration is a big thing. It can increase your buying power. That's huge. Philosophy's always been is the Lego market is a pie. I want to work with people to make the pie bigger, so that my individual slice is bigger. Unfortunately, are some folks who don't prescribe to that theory, and there's not too much we can do about that. But we need to work with, or I need to work with, people who want to increase the overall market.
There's like 3 stores in my area. One has almost 700,000 items. What's the highest in Canada?
Canada
Yeah,
first.
no,
I
that's a
don't
good
know.
question.
They're
That's
they're
a
at
really good
3.9, and they just bought a 700,000 store
Wow.
here in Edmonton, so they'll be 4 point something quick.
Yeah,
but
there's
do you
3
guys-
stores near me, so I buy off them as well.
Yeah, but do you guys
in the
look at
past I have.
size or quality? Like when I look at how much you have in your store, I look at the quality of stuff. I've ordered from people that I'll never order from again because it was junk stuff, either faded or super scratched. And I sell a mix of used and new. And I find the used, I try to go through the fine comb just so you don't have those fake bricks or you don't have those super scratched or, some of them are easy to find, but so you can have 3 million all you want. But your reviews do matter to some people, or even some of your store terms.
I can attest to quality. I look for quality. I want quality. All I sell is quality. We have a like new guarantee. All right, I think I'm the only store that offers it. We have it down. So if you don't like it, then you just send it back. No qualms. It's like new, or I don't sell it. That's the
That's
high
where I'm
standard
at.
of our store. Right, we don't deal in used.
No, you don't do used, Brad?
No, I don't do
Ah.
used at all. I do like new, which is
Yeah.
either brand new or it's displayed once, and not when somebody says that they bought it off of Kijiji and they built it and they displayed it, so it's only been displayed once. I mean,
Yeah.
it came out of the
Yeah.
box. Somebody built it and put it in their collectible cabinet and built it once.
Yeah, I only deal with
And
used
that's-
because I
that's
don't
my-
have the space.
That's my business model.
Yeah, it takes a lot of space to have both used and new, and I just don't have that space.
We've got a really good question from the channel.
Sure.
How many of
Mhm.
you sell sets versus parts? So,
Sets.
and an expansion of that is, what is the focus? Parts, sets. Do you do everything, manuals and stickers too? I know some people won't touch that stuff.
I do instructions. I do sticker sets if I come across it, and I only have 2 or 3 sets that are listed. I don't do sets generally.
Yeah.
Just parts mostly.
Instructions, boxes, sets, and figs.
I
That's
don't
it.
do boxes.
I have very few.
I'll mail in the box.
parts.
I'll turn it inside out and I'll use the box. Sorry.
Jacob, what do you focus on? Is it just the loose parts?
I'm trying to get towards focusing on parts because I don't know. It's just less hassle for me personally to worry about sets. I still have some sets that I've got to sell, but I'm just trying to focus more on parts, I guess.
I think sets break when you break down the set, you're going to make more money anyway.
You got to sell every piece of it.
Exactly, and you got to store every piece of it.
Eventually.
That's the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
If I was starting
you can look
over, I
at the
think
tear
I'd
down
do
value of
straight
a
sets.
set, and half the parts aren't worth anything because they're so common. No one wants.
Still
True,
can't
but
buy
people are
specialized
built. They'll
parts.
buy I sell bricks. Somebody will come along. My bricks build up, so it's like, okay, I got too many bricks. But all of a sudden, somebody will come along and buy $300 worth of bricks and clean me out.
Wow.
Honestly, if
Yeah.
you were to start a new store, I would say just do figures and fig parts. I do not see any set like my major part orders I ever get. Maybe once or twice a month I'll get like a $400 part order for a piece part order. But figures, you'll always sell figures.
That's
Yeah.
what I focus on. I used to do a mixture, but now if I find cheap minifigures, I find that increases my chance to buy more.
Yeah. The more you have on, yeah.
The problem is finding the figs.
That is the hard part here in Edmonton, at least.
I've been able to do pretty good finding the minifigures. So
Well, again, you're small like me too, right? It's there's not as many people buying as there is in Edmonton. I couldn't even
Right.
imagine have to buy it there. That would suck.
Well, that's the thing about being online. It doesn't matter where your store is located. You have either Canada or North America or worldwide market to advertise and market to. You'll have local buyers, regional specific, which you need, but you can't restrict yourself only to that. You got to open wide up for all you guys who are just starting. And if you haven't yet, which I'm sure most of starting people have, or people are thinking of starting, I've talked to numerous people about this. I think a good idea is to get on Bricklink and become a buyer first and buy a few things, learn how it works, learn how the whole system operates, and then you can start making a little bit of a transition to selling. Would you guys probably agree with that, or not really?
Yeah, definitely. I think that I learned a lot from just seeing how people package their stuff or organize their things, and what not to do was the biggest thing. Like I've had orders just like in a garbage, like a grocery bag, just like tied up in a box, and just like a bunch, like all just thrown in there, like multiple sets, just like thrown in there, like half put together, just like wow, like this is terrible. But yeah, or from Russia, from Finland, from everywhere, just trying to figure out, okay, how does this work? What's shipping like and stuff. So that helped a lot before I opened up.
It's really the amount of effort you want to put into it is what you're going to get out of it. 100%.
Yeah.
That's it. I have, it's if you don't want to add parts, if you don't want to, as Brad said, advertise, you ain't going to be, pushing it.
And you're right. It's up to you. If you just want to do it as a hobby, then do it. I wanted to pursue it full time, so I put a ton of effort into it. It really depends on you and what your expectations are to get out of it. Yeah, but that's it. Nothing more to say.
I get 85% of my orders come from Canada. Is that about the same for all the rest of you?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'd say 99%.
But
I only ship in Canada.
I only ship in Canada and US. I haven't opened up because it keeps me busy enough, and I'm making money still. So
I think
that's enough for
international,
us.
which I've cut back on, I cut out with all the VAT rules and the paperwork and stuff. I cut out Europe recently because it's just not worth it. Because I feel like until they sort out the actual documenting of the paperwork, they're not going to get things straight.
Agreed.
It's just opening up yourself for problems. So I'm only doing Australia and New Zealand outside of North America. And I think right since the beginning, my split has been 85-15 Canada, US. with
I've got it
a
written
smattering of internationals. So
I maybe had 5 people from the States message me about shipping there the 2 years, and I just haven't really found it worth it yet because the shipping cost is higher, obviously, and just the headache of not getting there for a month.
See, U.S. has always been a good chunk of business for me. Maybe it's because I'm semi-close to the border. I don't know. I'm not too far away from the border. I'm in Southwest Ontario, maybe about an hour and a half from the border. That may help for guys in New York, Michigan, whatnot that are pretty close. It's always run probably around the 40% mark. I'm starting to see an uptick in that, though, because just recently I was able to organize a flat rate shipping for the U.S. So that has that's really up things like a lot. Even some with the flat rate shipping, as you know, some orders you'll lose a little bit, some orders you'll make a little bit, but at the end of the year, everything should work out in the wash. But yeah, ever since I was able to bring that in, U.S. orders have just upticked like crazy.
Before I forget, I'm doing a small contest. Can I do that now?
Yeah.
So it's a free order letter mail up to $20.
Oh, dibs.
Has to fit letter mail. So this is only for the viewers. Only for the viewers.
So short.
Don't count, Brad.
He's not saying he's watching.
So you have to answer this question, and first one who answers it gets the order.
So are we taking the answer from the chat, or do they got to contact you?
From the chat.
Okay.
So whoever's fastest and can figure out the answer. Okay,
Yeah,
what is
put it on the chat.
I'm one
All
step
right,
ahead of you, Brad.
what is a famous landmark in Newfoundland? So you can name any one. Doesn't matter.
Is Newfoundland even a part of Canada?
Do I need to repeat that question? Sorry.
Is it a lobster?
No, a landmark. Like not an animal.
Sorry, I'm just a hillbilly from the
It looks
West.
like everybody has to Google. Everyone has to Google. It's like no answers yet.
Wait, Labrador isn't the end of Canada?
Signal Hill. There we go.
Yes. Oh, look at that. Wait a second.
Signal.
Okay. TMOG 278.
Wait, do we count this?
What's that?
Do we
That's
count
Jacob.
this?
Oh, that was Jacob. Okay, no. So
It's all right.
There you go.
I
Viking
didn't make the
Heritage
rules,
Site.
so I don't know if you
I
count it.
didn't expect that to be first. I just wanted to pitch in too.
Bad.
To the
Let's
next one.
see. Viking Heritage Site. That's good, but not like a name. Grossmorn Park. Yeah, we'll take Grossmorn Park then. That's Grossmorn National Park. That's good. We'll take that one.
See, Chris is making fun of Saskatchewan. We're half province now. What are you talking about? Come on.
Chris is not one of us, right? He's an actual viewer.
He's a Bricklink guy. He's not one of us. No.
He's what?
He's not one of the panelists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
He might
up
own a
to
store.
$20, Chris, and that's free letter mail. So it has to fit letter mail. So message me and or just put in your order. All right.
Nice.
Very good.
I just got to address why I don't have a camera on. It's because I'm labeling drawers. And I got called out by 2 people already through Facebook Messenger. They texted me.
Naked.
So
He's naked.
while labeling drawers, you got to
Too
multitask,
much
my man.
information.
Put pants on.
By the way, everyone in the chat, if you have a Bricklink store, you probably can't put the link, but put your store name in the chat. Because I know
Good
we got
answer, Jacob, though. That was fast.
Yeah, he was fast. Now,
Ask on Google.
I
I'll
wasn't
give you a high
thinking,
five.
I wasn't thinking of the Signal Hill, although that's a good one. Beginning of radio transmission. What there's am I thinking right? Newfoundland's got what I call the butter statues.
I'm actually not sure, though.
I gotta ask my wife because she's from Newfoundland. Because I know when we traveled around the rock, there was one spot we went to, and but there was for a major developer there who was into the lumber and other industries, and he had set up what I call the butter statues. All these historic looking statues, and they look like butter, but it's they're made out of logs or whatever. But to me, call them the butter statues. My wife's going to kill me because I don't remember the name of the place.
All right, congrats, Chris.
Yeah, that was great and fast too.
I have a question.
Please.
We were on the subject of shipping overseas and such. I don't, like I said, I don't have it open for overseas. I had a gentleman contact me, 2-3 days ago from Germany. I found out he wanted to order 500 Technic black pins and send them to somebody in, I believe, in Saskatchewan, I believe. Gave me
so
the
not to him. Okay.
Yeah, not to him. Now, I know that I've read, or I think I read on the Facebook site about these people who are buying, they don't have a store, but they'll buy and send to somebody else.
Sure.
Drop ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're like a ghost. Now this guy doesn't have a store. He's a buyer. I looked him up. But he wanted, so I invoiced him through PayPal. I went into PayPal, invoiced him. He wanted my pen.
You wanted
Yeah,
to
I got your attention.
Yeah.
Nigerian prince. I'd stay away from that if I were you.
Yeah, we canceled everything. He never came back to me.
Good.
So I'm assuming that he wasn't legit.
No, definitely not.
It's really sketchy.
Yeah, definitely.
You do have a registered number for PayPal. Rather than
Yeah.
giving someone your email address, you can give them your PayPal number, and they can pay you that way. It's a lot more less personal than giving out your email address. Maybe that's what he
Yeah,
would-
because a lot
She
of
sent
people,
him an invoice though, so he shouldn't even need the
True.
pin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went in through PayPal, and you know how you go with his. He sent me his email, and
Yeah, that's
sent him the request through PayPal.
that doesn't sound legit at all. You
Yeah,
shouldn't be.
so
You
he
shouldn't be
wanted
Especially
my
not for
pin.
500 Technic pins. That's
Yeah.
Shouldn't.
Sounds like a
Same
dream
guy
order.
asked for a free order from me.
Pardon me?
I said it's the same guy who asked me for a free order.
Oh, yeah. No, it's not the same guy. The next day, I got someone saying, "It's my birthday. Do I get it? Can I get free shipping?" And I said,
everyone in
"Sorry,
the chat
happy
is
birthday, but sorry." Yeah.
Everyone in the chat's going to have to message you for a free order now. I think that's just what it is.
The other question I have is, have you guys ever come? I know there's a lot of reproduction, but this little piece here,
Okay.
and it's not our only
full screen.
piece. It's a wedge with 2 studs.
Yep.
It has a Lego number, but it does not have Lego written on the stud at all.
Wow.
And we're finding that. Anybody come
Yeah.
across that?
Well,
Miss
I
Sprint,
have only
$5,000.
because I deal with a lot of Chinese bricks, and of course they never want to put the Lego imprint on there because that really
Yeah.
gets Lego's attention.
But
much
they're
faster.
using the Lego part number.
No one's looking that close at the back usually,
Yeah.
and even Lego has not enforced that at all. When they see the Lego imprint on the front from sources that are not them, yeah, they have much better chance of Lego getting involved. So it definitely smells like. I mean, there's always a chance something slipped out, but I cannot believe through the high quality dye that Lego will use, and then they get rid of the molds when they get sketchy. There's just no way you're going to get a Lego piece without the imprint and have the number on the back. That sounds like it came from really
Yeah.
sketchy sources.
Yeah, it's tough getting a Lego, I'll tell you, because a lot of the people out there, oh yeah, it's Lego. You go and look at it, and 50% of it's Mega Blocks because they just don't know.
Or not,
Yeah.
not even Mega. I don't throw shade on Mega, but
Well-
it's like I have bought some sets that would look perfect, right? Used stuff, and I inspect it. I take a look at everything I can see, and then once I start pulling off a few pieces, what's underneath? Non-Lego. They
Yeah.
took very deliberate effort to make sure that the non-Lego parts were not visible and identifiable. It's like, oh, you dirty, dirty people.
Mm.
Because I always ask, I like to ask, what's the origin of this set? Is this yours? Are you the original
Yeah.
owner and builder? Blah blah. Because if I feel they're honest, then chances are the parts are going to be original to the set. It's going to be original era and not, 20 years later where the parts really don't work sometimes.
Yeah,
Clips
yeah.
being one of them. And even like the round 2x2 tiles. Someone needed one to fix the camera gift with purchase. I offered one up. I looked through my vintage parts and I didn't realize the difference. Mine had, I think, the cross on the bottom, which would be great for 4 studs, but what they needed was the modern one with the tube. I mean, those little differences, which you may not notice, I mean, they can really sting you later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
That's-
Well, thank you, gentlemen, on that.
That's a neat part that you got there, though.
Yeah. Yeah. The little wedge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's got a Lego number on the back and no
Yeah.
imprint on the
Yeah.
top.
And it's
I've never
the
heard of that.
quality, the coloring and the quality. You would not know.
Oh, James, you should have seen. I made a post in Lego Collectors Canada 3 years ago, maybe a little longer. And if Rocky's around, he'll probably remember because this created a big stink in the group. And then I stopped posting for a while because I don't just do Lego. I don't just do Mega. I do a lot of Chinese sets. I try not to do copycat sets, piracy sets, stuff like that. I don't want to see people being ripped off. I do like to try different things and experiment. I want to build stuff that Lego doesn't let me build. But some of my sources in China, they turn around, they send me some parts and I'm looking at like, this is great stuff. They go, yeah, we made these. Well, they were all Lego imprinted. This stuff was 1-to-1 perfect. I go, you're kidding me. No. This is the state of the art. This is what we're doing. Because for some of them, they're making enough money that they can have high quality dies. Now they'll never discard them as early as Lego will, because Lego will only run them so many times, and then they'll put in a new plates for the molds and stuff. Whereas the Chinese will run it 5, 10, 15 times longer than Lego ever would, which is why quality may start good with some of the Chinese bricks and then tends to peter off.
Yeah.
But that's no longer the case. I mean, there's still some that are like that in China, but if you look at stuff in the last 2 years, even if it's not Lego imprinted on top, like the quality is getting so much better. And then when you have 1 or 2 of these guys who are intentionally trying to clone the brick piece for piece as accurately as possible now, it's getting harder and harder to trust, a used set. I mean, for those of you that have decided you're just not going to be in that business of selling them, I applaud you because it's getting tough. I don't know.
It is. Yeah.
Because when
One
I
of my
showed off
sorters-
these parts, and it's like people are looking like at first they called bullshit. So that was a problem. Like for 3 weeks, we're all crying back and forth. Like, no, you don't have to trust me. I already do live streams all the time, and I focus on a lot of the Chinese bricks. Most of my views are from overseas and people who enjoy that stuff. And it's like, guys, this is what we're having to face now. You got to buy from trusted sources. I'd rather come to you guys who are looking at bricks every day than maybe someone just, down the street who thinks they collect Lego, because I don't know what the sources are anymore. It's really tough.
I'm part of a lug group here in Alberta, and we got that email about a year ago where they said be on the lookout for when you're buying used bricks because they're now out there.
Yeah, the state of the art is really good.
Yep.
It is really good, and you won't tell the difference. There was a time when you could, even if it was visually a 1-to-1, you could weigh them with a proper scale because the chemical makeup of the plastic was different. Nope.
Or you can use on the older stuff. You could use a black light and it'll glow.
Yes. Yeah. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
yes, and that is no longer effective in the last 2 years now, last year and a half now. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
But there's other things in a used Lego bin that you bought from somebody that you might not want to see with a black light.
Is that just Edmonton
Oh.
Lego or it's the Berta Lego?
No, it's all over.
Jeez, what do you guys do
All over.
over there? Holy.
That
You
is
don't know what
absolutely
you're
one
going
of
to
the
find in a
questions.
Lego used bucket.
Yeah.
I know all you guys cry about the Oilers, but it's okay. You don't need to do that stuff too to the Lego. Jeez.
You know what? There's been guys that I've talked to, and they're like, I got a litter box in this bin of bulk Lego, or The worst, nothing's worse than litter, but wax crayons.
Oh, I don't know. I've had dried throw up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Little short and
Let's
curlies.
go around the horn. What's the
Cigarette
word?
butts.
Stuff? Cigarette butts. Okay, what
I had
else?
Cat hair,
Band-Aid,
dog hair.
batteries, Cheerios.
Tooth?
Dried blood.
I had a tooth
Broken
in mine.
I had,
put it under your pillow.
I found
Yeah.
dentures.
I did. I got $5.
I found a razor blade and a bullet in
nice.
one bulk buy. Yeah, so I always use gloves when I'm going through my initial sort of because you never know. But yeah,
I
didn't.
love this. Look at this.
cut
This is a
myself
great
on the
answer.
razor
Tron
blade.
tails. That's a new one.
Right on.
Yeah, all kinds of.
I don't know what that is.
The classic is Cheetos
Oh,
Cheetos,
no.
and
Yeah.
Nerf darts and battleship pegs and stuff. Those are always in the
Some of
bulk.
that stuff you could
lot.
resell, though.
Yeah.
I found 3DS games in one bulk buy I had.
Oh, nice. Never had
Oh,
anything that's
yeah.
actually like that good. It's usually just like
There's a good
tailored Lego
question.
blocks.
What do you
Yeah.
guys do with your junk stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Depends what it is. If
Put
it's
it in the
like
plastic bucket.
if it's like
Oh.
good quality like non-Lego stuff like Mega Blocks,
Non-Lego.
I'll just like
I
donate it.
saw.
But if it's like gross and broken and or stuff that I have no idea what it is, like random parts for stuff, it usually just goes in the bin.
All the like building non-Lego blocks goes to one of the local schools my friend's sister teaches at. She uses it for the kids after school program.
That's what I'm doing now too.
Anything that's broken gets recycled. Anything that's not goes to one of the local charities. There's some for homeless children. There's a couple of shelters around. There's places through the church that will take them and hand them out. So whoever's in need.
My dad does all my sorting for my bulk use stuff. So he sorts it basically into color for me. And all the crap or mega blocks, anything that's broken, he just keeps, and then he takes it to the auction. And then he laughs and tells me how much money he got for all this stuff that's broken.
So you let him out of the basement. You take the shackles off sometimes.
Yeah. So all I can say is that if you're in Kelowna and you see an auction where there's a whole bunch of Lego in there, don't buy it.
That might be a little self-serving. He might be keeping his competition away. I don't know.
You just ruined it for him. Jeez.
I've been to auctions where they've got Lego and you can hardly touch it sometimes. It just goes through the roof. Yeah.
Oh, Ian. Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Oh, sorry, Ian. Chris won.
My first Lego sale was the Constructs that was in the first bin of Lego I bought. Yeah, you're a mega hater. No. That's okay, because you know what? Most people who touch Lego, their experiences with Mega are horrible. And so were mine. My first Mega stuff that I was buying intentionally, and I was putting them together, and I called it suicide. The parts would literally jump off the set. And I would film this. Like I'd push them on and I'd sit back, and about 30 seconds later, the part would jump off as if it was possessed and wanted to commit suicide.
Was he talking about Mega Blocks Constructs, or was he actually talking about the toy Constructs?
I think he was talking about the Mega Blocks Construct stuff.
Okay.
Can I ask if anyone's actually, other than Brad, I know you're full time. Is anyone actually a full time Bricklink seller?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, 100%.
I was
Since
laid
I've
off
retired, yes, full time.
because of
5 o'clock in the morning, and I drag my sorry butt up the stairs at about 10:30.
Oh.
At night.
So Tyson, you were laid off.
The
You
two
said.
of us together.
yeah. I'm an engineer and I was laid off for a little over a year due to COVID, and the Lego store kept me going. So
So
I
I
was
just
full time then, but
So I've been talking to a couple of people, and I just asked, like, I've asked them this question. Like, say, most of us aren't full time; it's a supplementary income. But if, say, Bricklink ceased to exist, don't think it will happen. Lego won't. It probably won't happen. Do you think Brick Owl is the next big thing, or do you think that someone would else develop a site if you don't have your own, unlike Brad? Or what do you guys think of that? Like, it's by Bricklink. Like, I only sell in Bricklink, so all my eggs are in one basket. But I
Yeah.
always ask that question.
I've never tried Brick Owl before.
How many of you guys are on Brick Owl? Anybody? Yes, yeah, I'm not on Brick Owl.
Is it similar?
Almost identical.
It's
I mean,
I heard
it's
it's
a
a little easier, but I heard
much
some
better
stuff is a little
interface as
worse.
far as I'm concerned.
The instant checkout I don't like.
Oh, it's the only way to go. If you're not doing instant checkout, you're years behind.
You'll increase your
I don't
sales
have
by
it
20 to
checkout.
25% by
I don't know how to do that. I don't even know how to
like
get
to
my
have my
US
hands and
guys
everything.
on.
So
I sell to the US, but because of the tax thing, I can't invoice them.
Well, so
Yeah.
one thing I encourage is, we do have the common thing that brought us together is the Facebook group that I made. I love to see more of these questions pop up because, I mean, whenever I see one pop up and I see people chime in and answer, it's like that's been the best part of this Facebook group is you guys are helping each other out, and I've just seen so much progress with that, and it's been great.
So lately,
Brick Owl is sorry guys, go ahead. Whoever was talking.
I was just finishing answering my question to Jordan. I at the last year and the year before, 40% of my sales were Brick Owl. So
wow,
if you lately it hasn't been that much, but it's incredible. Another market because it's at the top of a lot of search engines. It comes up before Bricklink a lot of times.
So what program do you use to transfer your, like, do you put all your stock through Bricklink when you add stuff, or do you put into Brick Store, Brick Stock? What do you use?
Yeah, I'm still entering manually into Bricklink and then using BrickSync to sync over. I think I'm at the point where I need to start exploring some of those other options that are out there.
So do you find BrickSync pretty easy to use then?
Oh yeah.
Great.
I'm a former computer programmer though, so that might.
Let's say so Chris Bartley's talking here, and me and him have talked about it a few times, and I've asked for a tutorial through him to help fix it or to figure out how to use it. But I just didn't know how much of a orders would I get if I had Brick Owl as well as Bricklink.
So yeah.
Tyson, I'm going to pump you up there, Tyson. Tyson told me like 3 years ago that I got to be selling on Brick Owl. And I am not a computer guy at all. I'm surprised I even made it on here tonight. And I totally regret it. And, I started up on Brick Owl in September. And, you're getting 1-2 orders a day.
So Tyson's the genie we all need to listen to then?
Yeah.
Dad, I haven't met you till now.
See, the best thing about Brick Owl, the one thing it has going for it, one, it's not owned by Lego, which is big to a lot of people. It's not corporate; it's independent. A lot of people still see that and still want that. But more than that, the user interface for sellers and for buyers is just light years ahead of where Bricklink is now. And I get a lot of people, first timers, people maybe not so savvy, and they go to Brick Owl and they can't even be bothered with Bricklink. But yeah, it's a great place to be, great community.
And the responses to issues are incredible.
Yes.
There's like a 2-day turnaround from bugs and it's gone and it's fixed. And new developments all the time. Like
that's pretty impressive.
It got Bricklink beat hands down.
Mm-hmm.
If they had the market, they would kill. It's Bricklink only exists because everybody knows it.
Yeah.
That was the first, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm pretty busy with just Bricklink, so I don't know.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys though had serious problems? Sorry, Brad.
No, each person has a unique business, so it's up to you and your business model what you need to do. If you want to increase your sales, we get over to Brick Owl. It's a great place to be. If you're happy with what you're doing and you're fulfilling your needs with Bricklink, then that's all.
So how does that work? How does it control the inventory?
Tyson,
BrickSync, which is a third-party app that was made by a Canadian guy. I forget his name off the top of my head, but he stopped supporting the app. So it's just a little program that runs on your computer, and anytime you get an order from either site, it minuses the inventory on either.
Really?
Yeah.
So the question I would have is, because I've seen the posts in various forums, BrickSync screwed this up, BrickSync screwed that up.
That's all user driven. I screwed
All
it up
user
once. I screwed it up once, and it's because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to. If you follow the commands right, it's solid.
So are you selling free tutorials at all, Tyson?
I can probably help out. I help
I can
Marshall out.
see I'm going to have to add the expert tab beside your name in the group. I've started doing that.
Actually, a
I
question.
start screwing people with that because it's like, oh no, they're going to start getting a lot of messages they don't really need or want.
There's for some reason it's been shaky for people on other systems. So I don't know. I've got a dedicated computer at the shop that runs it 24/7, and I haven't had any issues. Did you ever get it working on Raspberry, Marshall?
No, I never did. I just used my laptop.
Yeah.
My Costco special laptop handles it just fine.
Wait. You asked Marshall if he got it running on what, Raspberry Pi? Is that what you mean by Raspberry?
Yeah.
And then he's saying he's not much of a computer guy?
He was talking about doing it.
Take it from a guy who has dabbled with some
That's why he
computers,
didn't get it
who's
running
not
on
seen
Raspberry
anything
Pi.
running on Raspberry Pi. They're a computer guy.
Yeah, no, I gave it to my brother-in-law, who's a programmer, and he's like the source code or whatever it is, computer lingo, won't work on the Raspberry Pi. So you just need a computer, and it is super easy. Like I said, I wish I would have done it 3 years ago. I would have been able to buy a fancier truck.
By the way, there's got to be a way to get it running on Raspberry
Western
Pi.
provinces, right? Meter trucks.
Yeah,
I got one too, brother. So I got a question for Kathleen said this a couple times. So you said you're busy with your orders you have. I asked this as a general question to everyone is what is considered your busy? Like my busy might be an order a day per month. Someone else's might be 2. It goes by that. So I just thought, start with someone and see what everyone says there.
For me, I get sometimes 6 orders a day, 10 orders a day.
Wow.
Sometimes it's 1 or 2. That's what, and I sometimes, very rare, I don't get an order. Thank you, God, because you need a rest. Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
How many
And
pieces
that's
have you
just
got?
from Bricklink. What's our inventory? Ricky. 144,000.
And you're getting 10 orders a day?
I have, yeah.
She has lots.
Not all the time, no. Sometimes, like over the weekend, I'll wake up and there'll be like 10 orders a day. Yeah.
Like I've had a dry spell myself. I've had 1 order since the start of March.
Pardon?
And it's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
How many parts do you have?
I am
306. I was wondering.
I'm at about 44, 43,000. I'm a very small store,
wow.
but I've been switching more to used stuff.
Anytime you're slow, add stock.
I'm
That's
only
what
at
I've been
1,599 right now. Like items, I guess. And
Run a small select sale in the forum.
I haven't done that.
Just a small one if you don't want to go site wide, Jordan. Anyone, just a small, tiny one, whatever it happens to be. What you got to do is get name recognition. So once you get that out, then your orders will pick up.
Oh no, I'm not really worried about the orders picking up. It's I like the time actually to add stuff.
No, I know,
but I have I've been focusing a lot on building my Rolodex in Saskatchewan. So I made a Facebook page. I'm trying to service more of Saskatoon and stuff like that, just to build more of a local thing. And that's for future expansion opportunities I'm looking into. But that's what my main focus has been on. So it hasn't been adding. Anyone else with the orders? What's your average, say a month, or what do you guys? What's a good time?
Our average is 5 orders a day, pretty consistently for the last 3 years.
I think I get 2 a day at least, generally. I already have 9 orders this month, and I don't have that many parts or items.
I've been averaging about 2 a day, but it's just been steadily going up. Like I was from 1 to 1.5 to 2 so far over the 4 months I've been open. So I just keep adding stuff. So I'm assuming it'll just keep going up.
I will say though, Tyson's 100% right though. As soon as you hit a dry spell with a week or 2 without any orders, add. If you don't add, then you got
Yeah.
what everyone else has.
So that's
Yeah,
a
the
telltale
more
sign. If you're
inventory.
going a week or two, then you've got to change something.
Yeah, yeah. You've been bought out of all your specialty stuff or anything that's in high demand.
Yeah, you have to keep adding. Just have to keep the inventory up all the time.
Now, Marshall, just don't let them know what you do with the stuff that you can't move.
What do you mean?
All those common parts that just keep building and up and building up and building up.
I think
Oh,
relationships
right.
with your
That's
past
for funny.
customers. Oh, sorry.
Anybody want 1,000 of those little trigger things for free?
Oh, the little gray things.
I think relationships with your past customers is huge. I think that helps you get rid of some of your inventory. Like I have one customer, I'm like, okay, I'll give you free shipping if you spend over $150, and I would message that person once in a while. And then the person would buy, I don't know, could be a quarter of my store or something like that.
Yeah.
So, and then I have some customers that they bought off me quite a few times, and I might throw in extra items or so I have a decent repeat buyers, I would say, for a tiny store. Like people who bought off me more than 5 times.
See, that's the nice thing about used is you can add such a variety of items pretty easily. Like I know probably everyone in here has probably parted out a dots set at one point in time. And those things, yeah, they're great for padding your numbers and your lots, but they definitely don't sell that fast. And now it's just a race to the bottom with everyone, right?
Actually, the dots did good when the world map came out because everyone didn't want the regular plain white map. That's what I found.
And even now with the art sets, people are downloading designs. There's a couple of great graphics programs. Even I think LDD will allow you to import a picture and make a mosaic out of it. So now everyone wants all these dots everywhere.
Certain colors too, right?
Yeah.
I like Bricklink too for giving special discounts to people or whatever. I had someone from Newfoundland order me the other day, and I was like, "Hey, you know what? You spend more than $35 just because you're from Newfoundland, give me $5 off." And they spent over $35.
Well, how about offering a deal for guys in Toronto?
You guys are
20% extra.
Paris, Ontario.
Tending to be privileged enough, you're good. You don't need anything.
Yeah, the Leafs pity discount.
Yeah, the Leaf discount.
The
They get an Oiler one too.
Well, then you just give them pity bricks.
Wow. And on that note, click.
Friends off.
Eric,
Oh, my
what province
goodness.
are you in?
I'm in Alberta, in Calgary.
Oh wow, we have 5 Western. That's nice to see.
What part of Calgary are you in, Derek?
I'm downtown in the Beltline, just like 2 blocks north of 17th Ave.
Okay.
Just a few blocks from where I used to live.
Are you going to the brick bin and taking all his good stuff off of him?
After he first opened, I went in there when there was nobody, like they didn't have many customers, and it's like, whoa, look at all these great, like, black bricks and stuff that sell.
I know.
No,
I went to Calgary last summer and he had tons of masonry stuff in there that was cheap. And I'm like, hello.
He's got 2
Yeah.
stores now.
I don't know how he opened up a
Yeah.
second store. Like, he must be doing really good if he opened up a
Oh,
second
yeah.
store.
if you go now to either location, it's just like
I don't know.
tons of people in there all the time.
You look, because Brixie, who's a local Edmonton guy, visits them every once in a while. And if you look at Brixie's first visit to the brick bin and his last visit to the brick bin, all the same sets are on the shelf still.
Certain ones, like Darth Maul bust, yeah. Some of them have changed.
It just blows me away. I can't see how his model's sustainable.
It's got to be the bricks that does it, I think.
I don't know.
I see a lot of people coming in there and picking up bricks, and he says that people spend hours just picking out parts or whatever. And yeah, that's what I
but
the amount of money you make off
picking out
that.
parts, that doesn't mean you're making money. I mean, people in your stores for 2 hours filling a couple of cups or a bag or a box.
Like,
It doesn't sound like a sustainable model.
Like when I drove there last summer, it was like going in there, I almost had OCD problems. Like I was ready to cry. I was like, what is this? There's stuff everywhere. Like I was like, how? Like there's bins full of figure parts. I'm like, hey, would you sell this bin? Oh no, maybe. And then, just would ignore me after that. So I was like, what is going on?
Quick question to the viewers: what's your favorite store name of tonight?
Holy.
That's not fair.
Fight.
You know
I'm
what?
gonna if
Okay,
you do this
you
again,
need
I'm gonna
to-
come up with a versus graphic, and we're gonna like Street Fighter. We're gonna have little bars over your head.
No one's answering, so all our names are bad, I guess.
There's so many stores out west, though. How come people order from all the way here to Ontario? And the shipping is phenomenal for me to try and send to BC.
Well, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Letter
I don't
mail or
understand that.
package?
Why are they not ordering from you gentlemen who are in mid Canada or on the west coast? Like,
If
Because
they have the
Bricklink
part,
said
then
you've got the
no.
one.
Yeah.
Shipping isn't always isn't always cheaper to send. Like for me, it's probably the same to ship to Ontario it is to BC. Maybe not in Alberta, but in Saskatchewan, I think it's the same. It's the shipping I don't think is a really big deal. It's the pieces you have. That's what I would say.
yeah, I guess.
And there's
I mean,
our
it's-
diplomatic answer.
It's
for
cheaper to
tonight.
send to the US usually than like parcel into the US is cheaper than most places in Canada. Like I can ship
Doesn't that
something
drive you
to-
nuts that you
to
can ship
fucking
anywhere?
Missouri. Sorry, then for cheaper
That's true.
than it
That's
costs
true.
to Edmonton up the road.
I think you could have a whole panel just about shipping, to be honest.
Yeah, it's Canada Post prices and stuff crazy.
$7
I actually have
anywhere
to
in the
go.
States.
So great meeting everybody. It was really
Take
fun. I
care,
really
James.
enjoyed this.
So you out of here, James?
Take care, James.
I'm done. Yeah, I gotta go.
It's,
Sorry.
it's
Take it
nice
easy.
to
All right.
see. It's
Take care.
Thanks
nice
for
to
offering
see your
the
face
$20
your face to Newfie Bricks
Lego
there.
letter package. That's awesome.
No problem. I'll see Chris soon then. All right. Have a
Do
good
it
night, guys.
again. All
Take
right.
care.
Have a good one. Good night,
Take
boys.
it easy.
See you, James.
I know I set an hour, and it's still an hour. I have no problem keeping going if people want to talk, and we can keep doing this. And
Oh,
if
I've
people
got
want to
some.
gradually drop out as they got obligations and family, and
Yeah, I've
dinner,
got I got orders that have been neglected all day.
thank you.
All
for
right,
spending time
gentlemen.
with us,
Thank
Kathleen.
you, and thank you, Rick, for inviting me.
I hope if we do this again that you'll join us.
All righty.
Thanks a
Take
lot,
care.
Kathleen. Very nice meeting
Take
you.
care.
Nice
Take
meeting
care.
you.
Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Now I need to get out of here.
She might be here for a while, so we'll continue talking.
Yeah.
Just be stuck on
Yeah.
a picture of her, right?
Close.
Great.
My battery's running low.
That'll save you.
Battery runs
How do
out.
you get out of here?
Should be next somewhere
Yeah, I think so.
near the top if you're using the Chrome
leave-
browser. There we go.
I gotta say, Chris Barkley's destroying me through text message right now, making fun of me for not having a camera and saying Rolodex. He says I'm from the '90s. I was born in the '90s, buddy. I'm not
What's
that
a
old.
Rolodex?
Yeah, he just Saskatchewan. We're just behind a little bit compared to you
Yeah.
guys. Okay.
They don't have the internet yet in Saskatchewan. You know, like-
Hey, what am I talking about? You think I'm dial up?
Yeah, hold on. Someone's gonna make a phone call in your house.
There's a squirrel on a little wheel right now generating the electricity for the internet.
Oh, yeah.
6
No, it's a
hamsters in
prairie
cage.
dog, not a squirrel.
Prairie dog,
There you go.
jackrabbit.
That Chinook wind goes by and just powers everything magically.
So I wanted to ask, what's the worst experience you guys have had? Don't go into too many details or anything too personal, but what's the worst experience as a seller now that you guys have had?
When somebody just doesn't get it. They argue and argue and argue over something and they just don't get it. At one point I was using Canada Post's the prepaid boxes to ship orders because it was cheaper at one point than actually making a label.
Okay.
And a person in Quebec ordered a 3x2 cone, which doesn't fit in letter mail. And then she got the box and she said, "It's 3/4 empty. How come you didn't tell me I had more room?" And I was like,
Oh, so they're putting those on you.
"Yeah." And I was like, "I shipped it to you the cheapest way possible." And I still got a neutral out of it.
Mine's my
Ouch.
first neutral. I sent something to a guy and I mixed up 2 numbers. It was wrong, but he still got the package somehow. Don't ask me how. Still got it. He said everything looked great. It was awesome. So he gave me a neutral for that, for shipping it to the wrong address. Whatever. That was my fault. 100% take it. But I was like, okay, what can we do to fix this? I was still a new seller. Didn't want a neutral in my thing. said, can I give you a discount code? Can I give you free shipping next time? Like, I'm sorry, this is my fault. And he's just like, I'm just too distraught. I can't handle it. It was, I'm like, holy cow! Like, do you need a hug? Like, I was just, and so instantly, I forgot to stop list him, and then he actually ordered from me again. And I'm like, I thought you didn't like how I did it, and you were too distraught to, deal with me. Blah blah blah. It's like, oh, it's you. Yeah, just delete the order. I'm like, holy cow. He was from BC, so not shocked.
That's
I don't know. I've been selling on here for 5 years ish, and I really haven't even had that big of a deal. I haven't had too many nightmare orders. Like there's I'm sitting at over 5,000 orders, still 100% feedback, so that's good. I just you got to have that mentality that the customer's always right a little bit of the time, but open and honesty, you're gonna save that feedback for you.
Mm-hmm.
Brad, you got to have a bad story.
Oh, Brad definitely does.
No, I have no bad stories.
Really?
None
Gotta
that I can
protect the
remember
image.
off the top of my head. No.
Wow. And see, Ken didn't show because I know
So
Ken was going to be the whole negative side of Bricklink tonight.
They may
he
have been bad
no-showed,
at the time. They may have been bad at the time, but in the grand scheme of things, I vent to other people. I don't vent to the customers. So if you have an issue, I just solve it. It's just not worth it. Well, that's the wrong phrase. It's as a business owner, I solve your issue because you're my customer. The not worth it part is just getting into an argument with a customer to prove that you're right. Like that's just, you're the customer, you're right. You don't like this. Okay. It helps that I don't get a whole lot on the end of arguments with people too much because we have such a strong guarantee and such a strong return policy that, the first thing out of my mouth is, oh, okay, sorry to hear that you didn't like it. Send it back. I'll give you a refund.
Right.
I don't try to argue with them. I don't say, well, I didn't do that, or no, my packaging was great, or no, you must be like, no, I just don't do that. I said, I'm sorry that it didn't get there in time, and just send it back, and I'll give you a full refund.
My biggest issue with any Bricklink store was the packaging, and I just couldn't believe what they had done. But Derek,
you can tell the difference between a hobbyist and someone who doesn't do it for a hobby by the packaging.
And I'll even give slack to people starting, right? They don't know everything. They don't know how to package. I mean, ideally, you should be packaging it the way you want to get it. That's what I would think as a store, right? But there's a learning curve to this for sure.
I kind of tell people make 10, 20 orders on Bricklink, get it into your hands and see what you get.
Yeah.
And then
isn't that a requirement now that you got to put in this many orders just to be a seller?
One positive feedback.
That's it.
But you got to put in inventory.
Did they bring that down? It used to be 5.
Yes.
See, that's what
2
I
years
thought.
ago it was 1.
That 5 was a temporary measure because of the race to the bottom.
Right.
Oh.
You gotta show pictures of what your inventory is. You gotta show a picture of your address and your driver's license, I believe. That's what I had to send them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was going to mention this earlier. Some of you know this. When I started the group, Bricklink and Lego banned me when they figured out what I had done to invite most of you to the Facebook group. Guess who got banned again 3 days ago?
Why do they ban you?
Here's the thing. On the one account, I haven't bought or talked to anybody. The only thing I can possibly imagine is some petty person saw this, saw me posting links to this. I can't imagine.
So are we all getting banned then?
So they locked my key account again. It's not my only account, but they locked my key account again. I have not made purchases on it for like 6 months or something. No communication, no anything. What have I done in the last week? This stream, setting it up and promoting it across all my Facebook groups, the ones I'm on and the ones I own. I'm not paranoid. I don't understand Why? They haven't
They-
communicated with me
They're
yet.
not in control of the message, so they are upset about it.
Well, when you talk about that, Marshall, you said you're a part of the lug. How is there any conflict of interest? Have you ever had like them? Because I know lug gets special privileges with buying bricks and stuff at discount. Because surprisingly, I've actually bought from a lug before. So I just curious, like, how does that work for you?
It's kind of like a fight club. The first rule of lug bulk is you don't talk about lug bulk.
My bad.
No,
I'm not in a lug, so
the biggest thing is that we're just not allowed to disclose the price that we pay for the Lego.
but you're allowed to sell it.
No, we
No.
can sell it within the group for what we paid for it.
And there's an
Do they-
awful lot of people on Bricklink who are members of Lugs who sell Lego, and
Yeah.
not just on Bricklink either.
Well,
Yeah,
'cause I was
they-
curious about that because you look at Blaine's World, and he has a big store, and he has lots of bulk or lots of like multiple of one piece. And I know he's the head of his lug in the States there. And I was just wondering like how that's kind of an unfair advantage to everyone else in a sense.
I made some enemies in Toro Lug in Toronto.
You made enemies?
Oh yeah, can you imagine that? So when the orange spaceman, the one that was in the DK book, right?
Mhm.
Well, the lug got their hands on all the constituent parts for it way ahead of time, and this gentleman came to me. I don't know, must have been 250 of these figs, something like that. He had a price that I thought was outrageous. And you know what? If it was a good price, I would have probably kept my mouth shut and taken it all off him, because the book was like $50 or $35 Canadian, whatever it was. But because of what he was doing, I felt that was super, super slimy. I posted it publicly in LCC and a few other groups and exposed them. And then I was getting letters back from Lego like, oh, who did this and who did that? And, I wasn't going to throw too many people under the bus directly, but just here's your lug. This is what they're doing. They've been trying to sell to me, and here's the proof with the text messages and the photographs. And I left it at that and walked away from it and let them sort out the problems between, the lug system and all that. I really thought it was pretty slimy. And honestly, I only wanted a few. But you know what? If he priced it right, I would have taken them all and ran for sure. But he was profiteering in the most obscene way. And I don't mean like, $15 a figure. I mean, he was trying to get something even more ridiculous for those orange spacemen, which everyone wanted because it was a nice, unique looking figure.
I bet he sold some though.
He sold bucket loads here in Toronto because for a short period of time, it was ridiculous watching people sell them on not Facebook, but Kijiji. And very quickly, it was that race to the bottom, right?
Yeah, do you guys use Facebook or Kijiji at all ever?
Sometimes.
I'm a Kijiji seller, but indirectly through my wife. I keep my face out of it, my name out of it, because there's such a stink when you get someone like me who can clear shelves in the local Walmarts and then later flip them, right? And it's like, oh, you did this and that. I couldn't buy this, said this and that. It's like, I don't need that noise or static. So it was my wife being smarter than me. She sells it.
For selling, I have a I have a Facebook page for my business, but I don't sell off the Facebook page. When I first started, I tried listing and selling a few things off of Facebook, but it didn't really. It was a lot more hassle than what it was worth. So,
Yeah, I kind of agree. I could see when you're talking about, I think it was way earlier on, talking about like people lowballing you on Facebook or Kijiji or whatever. And I try to sell some of my sets locally just because shipping again is ridiculous. And sometimes you get people who just throw the most absurd lowballs in the world.
Use their new sets, Jordan.
I don't have much new. I'm starting to look into new. I've actually been throwing around the idea of opening an actual Lego store in Saskatoon because Saskatchewan has nothing, like zero, except for Mastermind, Toys R Us, and Walmart, and wherever else sells Lego.
You won't get supply from
Right.
Lego.
No, I know I won't, and I'm actually perfectly fine with that because I have other avenues that I have been exploring.
Brad, you got to tell the story of your visitor.
Which one?
The other day, the traveler who showed up at the door.
Oh,
Because Brad runs, of course, btlgbricks.ca, and
Yeah.
you know, a
so
profitable
it's an
business.
e-commerce store, right?
It's an e-commerce
And,
store.
Unfortunately, Google doesn't differentiate between e-commerce and more brick and mortar store. So I have hours on Google, which is fine, but I also have little disclaimers that if you do hit me on Google or on Bing or on DuckDuckGo, it'll say that we're e-commerce. Didn't quite get through with this fine gentleman, Waterloo, which is a town probably, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour. Well, probably closer to an hour from where I am. The guy shows up at the door, ding dong, right? Hi, are you open? Well, we're primarily an e-commerce business, and you could just see the crestfallen look on the guy's face, right? His car is parked up in front.
By the way, Brad's got this beautiful sign on the front of his place, you know?
Yeah, thank you. Very similar to that one there.
Yeah.
Bigger though. Yeah, so anyway, so it's there, and are you open? No, primarily e-commerce. I can set up a showroom. Usually requires about 24 hours notice. You know, we can arrange, and you could just see his face going like this, right? So I was like, come in. So I invited him in, and ended up making quite huge amount of sales, right, with him along that way. But he came from Waterloo, about an hour away, right? So before he comes in, fantastic guy, right? You know, don't know how long he's been in country. Still a very heavy Chinese accent. So I said to him, so where are you coming from? And he said, China. And I said, well, must have been a really long drive then. So he started laughing, right? So right then it was like, okay, I'm inviting you in. And I said, yeah, you know, whereabouts are you here in Waterloo? About an hour away. So we came in. So yeah, so there's my big story.
Brad told me this. I thought it would be funny for him to repeat it, given what you guys were talking about.
See, Ryan's in the chat. It's good to see him here. He's
yes,
he's been going through a lot, and just, you know, always give positive vibes towards him.
Ryan, I know you're not up to even being as a talking avatar. You want to give us an update? Because again, I have not talked to you today, but we're all thinking about you, buddy, and we miss you.
Yeah, I talked to him this morning a bit.
Did you?
Yeah.
When I don't get those updates, like, I'm kind of a little bit worried. It's like, come on, buddy.
No, that's when he's getting the sponge bath. Don't worry about it.
Yes, you know, and thank you everyone for sending in those coupons for the sponge baths. Yeah, he appreciates it. We all appreciate it.
We were talking about, I was talking to Ryan the other day, and we were talking about the sponge baths, and I just say, you keep bringing it up, Rick, because you're jealous because you can't give it to him.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you laugh. By the way, I have a standing commitment with a fellow YouTuber that I will go shave the Cajun Yeti if he ever gets 10,000 subs, and I intend to stick to that commitment.
Man, you guys out east are into some weird stuff. Jeez, please.
Yeah. Well, no, this will be great because that'll be my excuse to go to New Orleans. He's down there. And
we don't have any cows available to us. We got to do what we got to do.
Low blow.
Tyson, I love seeing you.
There will be no blowing, sir.
If you can see my face right now, I'm smiling as big as you, brother. I love it. I'll always badger the East compared to the West.
And anyone who's in contact with Jason, let him know that the number of viewers of the stream went up as soon as he left. So thank you, Jason, for leaving. We had jumped 5 as soon as he walked off. Yeah.
The Newfie accent.
No change. Oh, here we go. So no changes. Talk with the surgeons Monday, or will apparently, and make a decision on surgery. Wow, dude. We are thinking of you. Scary stuff. I'm happy. I'm glad. Sorry. All you guys came spend some time with me, talk shop, because this doesn't interest a lot of people. Just a certain segment who are really curious what you guys do.
So how about collaborations? How many people have collaborated with either, doesn't have to be Bricklink sellers, but other sellers, other people, either for buying, for selling, for putting on an event? Anyone?
That's a good question.
Well, for me, I've helped start 3 other stores in Saskatchewan, just with basic questions of how to run, where do you get your supply, like shipping supplies, not supplies of Lego. I will never. That's my little my little secret. But I've actually got approached by a guy about possibly, like, if I wanted to open up a brick and mortar store, or like Tyson has a warehouse somewhat in Saskatchewan, and he was talking about eating up every single store in Saskatchewan, and I was like, holy crap, like it's a little too intense for me. I'm just a simple man here, so. But yeah, the collaborations I find, like, especially for this, like, with you guys talking about Brick Sync and Brick Packer, it's the stuff that definitely can help a guy grow his business and, hopefully make a good friendship with someone. And, you don't learn this stuff overnight. You need to take time and talk to people and figure out how to do everything right.
How about on the lines of purchasing, or, like I said, throwing major events, advertising with each other, anything along those lines?
I know the Facebook group has opened me up to a couple of new sources for product. It's really helped me out.
I used to run a yearly garage sale, and that was always really good for me to get new people in my area.
Are you doing that this year again?
Yeah.
If you can find discounted Lego on a store shelf, sure. But
yeah,
no.
I would actually I would love to go to, like, obviously I live 5 hours away, but I would always I like to go, like most of you like to see people's layouts, see how they store stuff and how they run their store, and that's one thing I've been I would love to see more pictures on the Facebook group of, like, people's stores, just because I think it's so cool.
Yeah, I need to start encouraging that again, because when I was pushing that before, I would get 5-6 people. Hey, here's some photos. Here's a little video walking through my basement doing whatever I do, and it's fascinating. Love it.
I remember one time with my garage sale, I came across this Walmart, and I came because you always got to go to Walmart and see if there's a deal, and literally every single set was 50% off, and I had to tell the wife, I'm like, you better go get 2 more cards. And then that day I called Tyson even, and I'm like, Tyson, now I know how Bricklord feels here in Edmonton, because it was insane. And my wife was.
I was hoping he was going to stay away.
See, that's why I don't go to New anymore, because New is hard to find. Like you said, the discount Lego at Walmart, the closest thing I've to discount is what, $9 video box sets. Yeah, no thanks. Pretty sure every single person has 100 of those.
Now, this was back in like 2000, like let's say 4 or 5 years ago, when my very first garage sale that I did it. Yeah, it was insane. Everything was 50% off. Back when what was the big set there? The Resistance Bomber. That was the big set.
Yeah.
Now
it's getting harder. It's getting harder to find Walmart clearance. Not impossible, but I say that being in Toronto with 15 stores.
Yeah, but you say clearance. Are you talking about 10% off? Or are you talking?
No, I'm saying good clearance, 40, 50%, and then the
2 cents.
Even the 2 cent, 9 cent, 7 cent stuff.
I've only had 2 cents once, and that was the Hidden Side bus. I got 3 of them for 2 cents a piece. And then other than that, like Saskatchewan, it's actually, we have, how many Walmarts do we have? We have like 7 of them, I think, or something like that. But even then, you look, and none of them. I have people in every city looking for me, and it's not there.
I used to take some trips through Saskatchewan just to go to the Walmarts. Now I need to stop because you've got them all covered.
Well, I'm not that big yet.
I find now with Walmart, it's the sets that aren't going to flip. It's the videos, the
100%. I actually found Looney Tune poly bags, like the CMFs, for $3 a piece at Walmart. And I was shocked by that. And don't worry, I have someone in Calgary as well. So
does that? I haven't tried this in probably over a year, but does that Walmart scanning app still work?
No.
Okay, now
That's what I would do. Is I would just change my
work.
store.
What do you mean work in what way? Showing you what locally
Well,
where the discounts are for your local stores?
well, basically, you just put your location in and say you're at this Walmart, even though you're not there. Scan a barcode and tell you the price.
Yeah, I don't use. Okay, so I'll use the web page as opposed to the app every time if I'm hunting clearance. Who's got this? And if I'm on mobile. Now, if I'm at home on the computer, stock trade. No,
Stock tracker.
stocktrack.ca.
Even that's
Oh, yeah.
very shitty too. Like it doesn't.
It's
work.
not great, but run it locally for you and your local stores after whenever your stores close, so that inventory stabilizes overnight. So if your local stores close at 11, run it 11:30, 12 o'clock if you're up, and then make an itinerary of what stores you want to hit for what clearance items. And of course, it's still going to be sketchy, especially when you see 3 or less sets, or worse, you see 0 or a negative. Chances are the negatives are a result of theft or returns, because there's a way of counting it in inventory that way. But it's not a bad tool still for you guys that don't have a scraper where you can just scrape the website. Stock track is not bad. It's just not something you could during the day. It's impossible to rely on, especially if you're in a major city, because someone's always going to beat you to it anyway. But if you want to make an itinerary of, I got 3 stores, which one will I hit? Which one has the highest chance of having that set on clearance and the quantity worth your trip there? Yeah, I would run that on a web browser on your home computer right after the stores close the night before you want to go.
Here in Edmonton, it seems like there's too many Bricklink stores to even make it worth it. It's almost not worth the fuel trying to get across town to get there.
How many are we at now, Tyson? At least over 25. 25, 30.
25 in Edmonton alone.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the thing. A place that I actually saw someone that just sourced there. Like I know you can look at Value Villages, or you guys have Goodwill in Alberta. We don't have that in Saskatchewan, or Sally Ann's. That children's Once Upon a Child. Saw someone went there and got a massive set, like dinosaur set, and I've seen a couple new sets there before for pretty cheap. And I don't know if you guys have like liquidation stores, like Crazy Bins. I've heard has had some, and a couple other places. They get them from like some Lego sets from Costco and stuff. There's one outside of Saskatoon here that I know a guy who knows the owner who gets tons of Lego from him for stupid cheap.
Kijiji local here in Toronto, there's a lot of liquidators that'll advertise on it. And surprisingly, there's not a lot of people who show up at these auctions. And I'll go in there and it's, $5 to $15 cover, because you're paying the auctioneer. And you sit down and, it's usually a 3-hour auction. And it's toys, jewelry, whatever. It's everything at these little auctions that are held every week or two locally here. But they'll do like a good solid half hour to an hour on some Lego sets. And I don't like the way sometimes they'll do it with the auctions, but there's some great deals to be had. And some of these guys will be, people will be bringing their stuff in for consignment to the liquidator to get this done in auction. And then other guys, the liquidator themselves, they'll be picking up stuff from the returns, Amazon, Walmart, whatever. So they're bringing in skids of it. And that will sit there for 20 minutes to half an hour, just trying to buy up what we can. And it's tough, but it's fun. Haven't done it in a couple months now, but there's a lot of that action here. I don't know if you have that in the middle of the country or on the coasts, but
do you guys, what is your part out like percentage though when you look at this? Like, you have to do 2 times, you have to do 3 times? Like, what is your window for buying new?
That's a good question. So when you're buying a box set, or you're considering buying a box set, and what's that threshold where you go, yeah, this is something I want to buy and part it out to my store?
Like Brad, I guess that's not for you because you don't part out, but everyone else does part out.
My typical line is 2.2, but usually now I'm getting based on what percentage off it is. So it when I started out 5 years ago, I think Marshall can probably vouch for this. Star Wars sets, you were getting 3 to 4 times payback. Now you're lucky if you're getting 2. Like, it's ridiculous. There's way too many people that are just driving the price down. They open up a 25,000 part store and put everything on clearance. And
No, that's the thing. Like, so for a store your size, for instance, Tyson, you have a warehouse. Your business model is probably different than from me. You probably will buy a set when it comes out, right? To part out, where you don't.
Never.
That's shocking. I thought you would with the figures alone.
I would before 2-3 years ago. Now I won't buy anything full price.
Because I know, like Costco, for instance, they have when they come in, it's pretty good priced.
Unless it's something that I think is going to be able, like I flipped a Millennium Falcon when they first came out to France for double the cost. But I think Lego's caught on to that too. That they're the way the AT-AT came out, there was way too many of them. So,
Derek, what's your percentage?
Usually about 3. I try to get more than 3% for a part out. I don't have a lot of stuff that I parted out, but like I scooped up some of like the boom boxes for like $59 at Walmart a couple of weeks ago. I think it was like 6 of them, so I parted those out. But I don't like to buy a lot of new stuff because I have a lot of stuff in backlog of like used stuff to go through, and it's just way higher like returns than trying to go through. Like it takes less time, obviously, to like sort and get it into your inventory for new stuff, but like the margins are just way higher on used. So
those 102 liter bins behind you.
Those are the 70. I got 8 70-liter bins, all like full of unsorted bulk.
Yeah, welcome to the club. I think I got about the same as you.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending bulk.
I've had pretty good success finding stuff in Calgary. You gotta check frequently, like you might check Facebook Marketplace like every 15 minutes or so if you're actually trying to look for stuff. But I find that my best lots that I've got are from people that have like taken really shitty pictures and like it doesn't look like a very interesting ad, but then you start talking to them and they'll send you some more stuff. And if you actually dig in and put in the work to find it, I've gotten like crazy stuff. I got like 3 of those bins are full of a Star Wars collection. So it's like, I want to say like 120 pounds of Star Wars sets.
Oh, wow.
With like figures and stuff and everything, like complete stuff. And I got that. Somebody posted a box of just like gray parts. Like, not a very big box, but it was like, hey, we've got more Lego. Just message us about it. They want like $50 for this like small box of parts. And I was like, oh, that's not very good. Messaged them. They sent me back a picture of an entire living room full of like Star Wars sets. And it was just like, oh my God, like, okay, well, and then I got a crazy smoking deal on that one. So yeah, it's just like putting in the work sometimes because most people don't. They see either that from the ad, if it's good enough from just the ad and the pictures, they'll buy it. But most people don't seem to message people to actually dig into what they have usually. So that's been my best like hauls.
So
I don't know.
Your persistence has paid off.
Marshall, do you have a percentage
definitely.
for your used or for your new? Sorry,
Minimum 2 times the
Two.
value. Well, when I part out sets, I do 3 sets at a time. I try to, because this way, if that one set has some pieces that people are looking for, I got 3 times as many. Right.
Like you part out 3 different sets and multiple of the 3 different, or 3 at a time of one set.
Nothing is easier than parting out a small set when you've got 10 of them.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably easier to add them to your stock.
Oh yeah, and that's as Derek, I agree with Derek 100%. New is super easy to add. You can add lots quick. You can add pieces. You don't even need to look and see what the condition is usually, and you can put it in. Used is just you get that variety. That's the difference, right?
Yeah, but you got to watch out though. If you're buying new sets, if it's a city set, do not even think about it unless it's 4 times, because you're going to be sitting with axles and wheels and rims. Right? You're going to have a 2 million part store, and 1.9 million of that's going to be axles, wheels, and rims.
See, so I think an anomaly to that might be those road plates, the new Mills road plates. I have a funny. Hey, Rick, I know they're not that nice, but that gray, those tile pieces, man, those are
They're nice. They're
skyrocketing.
great. But anyone who's going to make roads with this stuff, I mean, it is so.
They're switching over to Mills.
I've had tons of orders where I can tell they're building milled stuff.
Oh my! I have people looking for specific. I've been selling bulk bags of just 2x bricks for Mills. because that's all they're building is they're switching their whole city over to mills.
That's
It's nice. It's just super expensive.
Yep.
Well, it's just time consuming too. Like that's well, you saw, obviously I know Tyson's a big Brixie fan, so you see how he
No.
did it. Well, you brought him up a couple times. You're Edmonton, you guys like the Coilers.
Brixie?
together,
Brixie
so-
who? Is he on YouTube?
He's got a beautiful tattoo on his arm too, right?
Can I be derogatory about him? Did I get back to him? I just love the way he says he's self-made when his dad owns Edmonton Coin and Stamp, and all of he's a Lego ambassador, and
I didn't know
they're showing up on his Bricklink page.
I just saw his dad owned that. Like, I just found out about that like a couple weeks ago. I was like, what? I didn't have any clue.
Wow.
Must be
I don't know.
nice.
He's bought off me lots, so I can't.
Are you his guy? He always says, I'm going to go see my guy in Edmonton to get lots of Lego. Is that you, Marshall?
He's bought 2 big few $100 lots off me once, but that was it when he was doing his big Lego wall.
Oh.
Pieces of Bricks was a store he went to a lot, and now he's advertising Sting Bricks.
I always wonder what happened to him and the brick building biker. You'd see them be best buddies, and now they're like broken up. It's sad.
You know anything, Jacob?
No, I've been wondering the same thing as well.
I don't watch a ton of his stuff, but I'm just saying.
From what I heard, it was because the brick building biker was essentially posting videos of the exact same stuff that Brixie was posting, so it was taking viewers away from Brixie.
He got a little butthurt.
Oh, come on. How much was he really
Jeez.
taken from Brixie? I mean, that is... Oh, well. Welcome to YouTube.
Honestly, my life is so drama-free that this is actually kind of hilarious to hear. I just
This
stay
is
in
the
my
first time I've
basement.
ever been on YouTube before, so here we go.
This is my first video too.
Do you guys ever watch?
And
any
I'm
other-
glad for it. I'm glad that was something we could do is to draw you guys out.
Do you guys ever watch any other YouTubers on Bricklink or like for Bricklink? Like Pop's Block Shop, for instance, is my be all end all. I find him one of the most knowledgeable people in just Lego reselling, and has been enjoyable to watch for sure.
Yeah, just
So I got
another,
another question for
brick in
everybody.
the bucket is good too for like vlogs. So
Sorry,
ahead.
Brad.
That's okay. I got another question for everybody. What do you base your list price of whatever it happens to be? X piece, X figure, X set. What do you base your listing price on?
It's a great question.
if I'm doing like used figures, I just ignore like outside of North America because it's just not a market really that I'm selling to. So I usually do Canada and then the US too, and I'll compare it. Sometimes if it's like more expensive figure, I can kind of see. But I try to be competitive, but not trying to like undercut other like Canadian or American stores on stuff.
Okay.
So I try to, if I can, price things over a little bit over like the 6 month average. You know, it's just good for us, for all the stores, if things are kind of increasing slowly in price, or we're trying to sell stuff a little bit higher than that. We're not just trying to like price everything as fast as we can, because even like a lot of used stuff, you can, if you list it for half the price, it's still a great margin for you to sell it, but there's no point in doing that. I guess it's not a very long-term like sustainable thing for the platform to be doing that.
I know when I'm parting out. Oh, sorry.
No, yeah.
Okay, when I'm parting out the set, I part everything out at like the current average, and then I give myself a little bit of a discount for people. So I'm right in between. I find that there's so many new Bricklink stores that are out there, and then when they actually realize that this is work, this is a part-time job, they flog their store, sell everything out at discounted price.
Yeah.
And then it brings that 6 month average right down to the seller.
It does.
And then you're kind of screwing yourself. So I just do current average, and then I give my sellers or my buyers a little 10, 20% off.
Tyson?
I'm going 6-month average plus 5 cents on every piece. And I do figs plus 75 cents, rounded up to the nearest 25 on 6-month average. So
is
stuff
that-
sits a little longer, but then eventually it just goes.
Is that based on margin? Or is that just your call?
Yeah, just it was actually to slow down orders.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've done that. I've done that
and
before.
it didn't slow down the orders, so
Yeah.
it makes me wonder when the tipping point is. But I'm wondering whether some of the pieces are building up that won't ever go.
Right. Here's a question for all
Jordan,
of you.
Jacob, what about you guys?
For me, I just look at the month, what's been sold in that month, and I try and find a middle ground between and go off of that.
Jordan?
So for me, for my new, like when I part on a new set, I'll do 6-month average minus 25% off.
Yeah.
I learned that from Pops. And then for used parts and figures, I look kind of what's for sale in Canada / 6-month average / what they're actually selling for. Because some people have a figure and it's only one in Canada, so I'll ask $200 for it. But the last one it sold, it's only sold for $100. So you're going to be sitting on that for forever. And I'm in the selling business, not the storage business. So I want to sell stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I price by margin. That's what it is. I pretty much ignore any type of the averages that are on BL. Surprisingly enough, it puts me right in and around either the top end or the bottom end, sometimes over, sometimes under. But we're in the selling business. Every piece that is sitting here behind me right now is costing me money. So you gotta move that inventory. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I get that. There's those stores like here in Canada, what's his name, Rapidus. All those stores that have, free shipping, right? Their current average, right, is all jacked right up to compensate for shipping.
Yeah.
Which, hey, that's their motto. If it works for them, great. But that's where I got to fight with, where I'm competing with that. Right when I put that part in for sale, that's why I have to have a little bit of a sale.
Yeah.
Well, and to be honest, I guess, as you said earlier, Brad, we all run our stores very differently. And
That's
we
right.
all, some people will sell new. As Brad said, he just sells figures, sets, boxes, instructions. Some just sell parts. So really, it's on what you feel comfortable selling. Like everyone says race to the bottom. Those people at the bottom are going to get bought out by another bricklinker. And then they'll just jack up the price. So for me, you race to the bottom all you want. You just got to be willing to accept what you're going to sell.
I spent too many decades doing unit pick warehousing and logistics, which kind of fell into what I was doing here. But when I figured I was going to go full time, there was no way I was going back to unit pick again, not in a gajillion years. So immediately selling by brick was not even in the cards for me. It wouldn't have been fun. I wouldn't have enjoyed it. You guys who are doing it, I love you to death. I've done it. I've been there. I know exactly what you're doing. So, yeah, but no, that just wasn't for me anymore. So, but I've been able to sustain a business and run this full time without having to do parts. So, I'm quite happy about that.
Now, parts, to be honest, the only thing I like about parts is when you get big orders. That's like the biggest. They're a pain in the butt to pick. Don't get me wrong, but the most satisfying is when you have just a parts order. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's beautiful.
So here's a question about the parts orders. Any of you guys use scales instead of trying to count them out? No. Really?
They've actually said there's a variance, especially now with Lego, that there's enough of a variance that they're not using scales in their warehouse anymore.
Computers can mess up.
Yeah.
Human can mess up as well, but there's a less chance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're moving to their more sustainable bricks too. So there's a lot of different weight variations in the brick as they try to come up with whatever their call is for sustainable.
So I'm going to show you guys. This is what I use for the 1x1s and stuff. It's a pharmacist pill sorter. Yeah, it's great and even has like the little funnel that you just put into a little bag. Like it's the best thing for.
Where did you get that, Derek?
I think this was on Amazon for like $10.
If you guys are ever looking for those little part sorters, the yellow ones that like Pops uses and stuff, Lehigh Valley has those. They sell them in like 3-packs, I think. Like they're the ones with a little corner as the mouth. Just kind of like a little bigger than your pill sorter.
Boy, if you were on camera, you could just show us, eh?
I don't
Hey,
have
Mr.
it,
Blue.
and I'm too beautiful. I don't want to make you guys jealous or anything.
He has been on camera with me before. He's just naked right now. And we forgive him
I'm
for
on
that.
my computer that it doesn't have a webcam. My other one does in my Lego room.
Hey,
And
have you guys?
if you want, we can live chat. I'm game, buddy.
Have you guys ever seen the YouTube videos of Timby Seller, the brickmaker out of Belgium?
No.
Okay, look him up. You want to see some high-end unit pick going on. Holy heck. Timby Seller, Timby''S Seller. He's a bricklayer out of Belgium. I've bought stuff from him before. I don't have a business relationship with him, but I've come to know him a little bit. You should see the latest unit pick automated he has going on. It's quite impressive.
Well, Tyson, how big's your warehouse you have?
It's about an 800 square foot room.
So do you have a pick path, or how do you do it?
It's not my garage. I wish it was my
Brad
garage. It
showing
would be a lot easier to
Throwing
get.
shade at Tyson. Geez.
It's so we've got it set up with some shelving. So we've got. I wish I had a picture I could show you.
Do you use Acro Mills, or what do you use?
The ones from Princess Auto.
Same
We've
here.
got that along one wall. The 64 drawer bins.
Yeah. You barcoded yet, Tyson?
No.
No.
Well, we've got it's each drawer is labeled.
Yeah.
So is the barcode actually even worth the time?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Take it from yes. If you're big enough.
What do you mean by barcoding?
So you barcode the back of it, so when you scan it, you can just put stuff in and it puts where the location is.
Yeah.
Instead of, I guess,
Puts the
manually
number
entering
and
it.
run
Is
right
that all it
away,
does?
Yeah.
Beep,
It doesn't
beep,
just save you
beep,
time, it also
beep,
eliminates
done.
like human error too, like from typing in a wrong number, like when you're parting out a set and putting in your inventory, and like deal with like, oh, this is not the right part number. Where the heck is this part now? Like if you just use the scanner, you don't have any of those issues ever.
So do you have a pick path though, Tyson? Sorry, we got off.
Yeah. So we do. Yeah. We've got it sorted by category on our drawers. So we've got some letters first and then a number afterwards. So bricks are B, plates are P. And then we've got all our figs first, and then it goes around to bricks and plates. We've got those in bigger containers. And then we've got 8 rows of the 64 drawer units. And then we've got oversized pieces. And all those oversized pieces are in X. And I've put a Z in front of all my used stuff.
So do you
they
mix the
end up
used?
last.
Do you mix the used and new then?
Absolutely
No.
not. No, completely segregated.
You see other stores like again YouTube like what's his name? He's the one who just opened up a massive warehouse in the States there. It's escaping me. But even like D's Bricks on TikTok, that guy has like no number system whatsoever. He has it just by categories in each row, and I could just see like massive headache with that.
Well, can you imagine, like with the pieces that Bricklink does, just shifted categories recently? What it would do to that sort of a system?
Yeah, like he has animals in one, like food in the other, bricks, plates, tech, like all that separated. But I don't know if he has it actually numbered. When you look at his stuff, you don't see actually any numbers on it. That would
seems
be
foolish.
I don't know. Even the bags, I did the bags at the start too, right? Because you're a small store, you don't have much. You don't want to invest a huge amount of money into it. And I could never go back to bags. I think I would shoot myself in the head if I had bags. That'd be terrible.
Yeah, we've got bags in some of our big containers, and my partner just can't stand it.
Well, maybe if it's like a massive amount of pieces, like you have 300 2x4 bricks, Of course, then I understand, but having just every piece in there, geez.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah. Hey, Doc, if I do this again, I'll bring the producer on, and the producer can ask some questions. For those of you that don't know Doc, he's well worth having him on.
Doc, we're not all old.
Some of us
Well,
are
he
looking
wasn't
older
calling
than
me
we.
old. He was calling some of you guys old.
See, that's why I can't come on video. I don't want to show how young I am.
Some of us are trying to turn back the clock.
So Derek, is that all your stock right there beside you, or do you have another section?
No. So this is, I have 20 of the Canadian Tire, like
Mastercraft?
43 wins with this, with 3 like larger ones on the bottom. I mostly just have new parts in there. It's not all full yet. I actually just got some more, so there's about a third of them are empty. But I have used stuff across. I have stuff just like everywhere, but it's all I know where everything is, and it's all like labeled and stuff. It's just like I don't have a huge space to maximize what I can do at the moment. So
it's space is I probably think the biggest issue that all of us have, and I've moved my Bricklink store in my house 3 times now, and where I am is the last place I'll go until I decide if I want to leave to a warehouse or something. And my wife will kill me if I do another place. So
Yeah, my wife was quite happy we spent all that money to redo the basement just to make it into the Lego store.
I know another guy who actually did the same thing.
How many of you have Lego boxes like at your feet right now?
I mean,
everybody.
No, I don't.
I've literally been
Marshall?
putting my feet on boxes this whole time.
No,
I mean,
I'm in my office. My
I
office
keep
is Lego
shifting my
free
weight
zone.
around because I can't sit for more than an hour, and I keep literally using these mega and Lego boxes as a stool. But I'm a builder. I don't really care if there's a crease in the box. So look at that, eh? Everyone's pulling out what they got under the desk. That's sweet.
I should show you around the room because it's embarrassing how much Lego is here when I have a warehouse where I can keep stuff.
Derek, did you say you've been open for 4 months?
Yeah.
Man, awesome job. 223 orders in 4 months. That is impressive.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
Way
he's
better
not
than what
telling
I
you
was
is-
when I opened.
What he's not telling you though, it's like a 1x1, right? 2x1s, right?
I have a $10 minimum buy I've had since then, so it's been 223 orders over $10, I guess. So that's good.
That's even
all,
better.
all sales count.
Mine's like I do. I make a spreadsheet. I don't know if anyone else does that. Maybe some of the bigger guys do, obviously. And so I do an average order, and usually it's in the 20, so it's nice. But I don't. I do $2 minimum buy, and still it's rarely do you have. I can't believe the people who buy like $1 and then they pay what $2.50 for shipping or more.
Yeah, I had a situation like that the other day. It's my first UK order. One person wanted to buy what piece was that? It's one of those things that they include the CMFs to hold the figures in the air, and it was in a purple color. This one guy, I had it listed for just the minimum buy requirement, and like he was willing to pay the crazy amount of shipping for it. And I'm like, I researched there's other people semi closer to him, and he still bought from me. So I just puzzled me in a good way, I guess.
It happens. Had a guy buy a 25-cent instruction who lives in the U.S.
Tyson, are you selling those beat boxes for that price?
No.
Jeez,
I-
Louise.
I list sets that I'm intending to part out ahead of time. And if they don't sell, I've had lots of sets sell.
Hey, no, that's good power to you. That's awesome.
Yeah, if someone wants to
I
pay it,
actually
let them
took the
pay it.
advice of somebody else on the Brick Owl forum and said, if you're sitting there with lots of sets that you're not ready to part out or you don't have time for, put them up for what you want for them. So I'm just putting up 20% on what I want, kind of like our
Do you want more of
MSRP
them?
times one.
Mhm.
No,
If you want, I know where lots are in Saskatoon.
no, I don't want any more of them. I'm really worried about all those parts hitting my store and those containers never ever selling.
Well, funny thing is, so the video figures I figured would not sell. I actually had one of my friends message me today, be like, "Hey, I looked at your store. You got some video figures I want. Can I get them?" I'm like, I didn't think these would sell at all.
Well, that's Series
I've been
2.
selling mine.
Look at how crazy that is.
I haven't even seen
Later.
Series 2 on the shelf.
That's because they only got released in Europe.
Oh, really?
They're selling for over $50 a piece.
Oh,
You can get them on Amazon, I think, right now for $9. They got them back in stock.
A
The
piece?
Series 2. $9 sealed. Yeah, I'll see if they're still. This was
Ouch.
like yesterday I saw.
So
I
I
guess
guess
on my wish list.
that's a wonder.
But
Do
they're
you
only
guys
5. Why was Amazon selling them for 9?
source from Amazon a lot?
Not really. I usually just buy stuff from myself occasionally from Amazon for a good price.
I've
But yeah,
only-
they have Series 2. Let's see, who's it sold by right now? Ships and sold by Amazon.ca, $8.94 for Series 2.
There you go. There's a market everyone can get into.
You can buy 30 of them right now. Limit of 30.
Look at Jacob's now looking on there. He looks like he's intensely buying something.
Yeah.
I'm looking because I've been hunting for them.
Yeah, like, obviously it's almost double MSRP, but it's still a good price if you want those. I'm just not. I don't need that in my store right now.
If you go on Brickset, they got an Amazon link with all the deals on it, so this way it saves your time from typing in everything.
Yeah.
I found
Canada, or
stuff
just
on
for
Amazon
US?
that hasn't been on Brickset though.
Yeah, it's just quick and easy rather than typing in Lego Star Wars on sale, Lego this on sale, Lego that on sale.
Yeah, but Marshall, is that just for Canada or is that for the US?
No, it's Canadian.
Oh, okay.
You could do either.
Canada,
Because-
US, UK.
Because that's the thing is, a lot of the sales you'll see, but they'll be US. So for us, we either can't purchase them or it is significantly higher.
Yeah, you can filter on Brickset to just Canada.
Oh, okay. All these websites I've never used before.
A lot of resources for Lego stuff. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I'm actually having, I had a 2-month freeze, no buying, and that's this month as well because I have too much.
You
No.
know what, Jordan? Wait till April, May to do your. Oh, no buying. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you said no selling. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm selling. I didn't join that. I didn't join Bricklink not to sell. Come on.
Yeah.
I need to buy a couple brickheads, and I need those clone trooper packs to go back and stock. I've been on back order for that for 3 months or 2 since they came out.
Yeah, I tried to buy 5 at Lego at Southgate yesterday, and they'd only let me buy 1.
See, that's the thing is like you guys in Edmonton and Calgary and in, I guess, in the Ontario area, like I don't have a Lego store near me at all. I went to Mastermind last night and they had 3 Home Alone sets, which I was shocked to see. But that's about it. Mastermind's probably the best place for hard to find stuff.
Really?
I'm in small town, population not too much, so we don't have a lot around here at all.
He's got like 2 main streets.
Yeah,
Beautiful little hamlet or whatever.
yeah, sure is.
It's quiet.
You're going to own the whole city soon.
So do you spend a lot of time commuting to the major center to get stuff then, Brad?
When I started, yeah. Now I have, because part of it had to do with my background in logistics. I was able to set up and talk to a whole bunch of different warehouse managers, different suppliers for different things in different parts of the world. And hey, you know anyone? And then from there, right? So a lot of the stuff I have brought to me. But yeah, if I have to go anywhere, it's a drive and it takes a while. But yeah, now mostly when I started, yes, most of that was doing. Now most of it comes to me. So that's been a big switch over the last few years.
So I got a question for Derek specifically, because, well, and I guess Jacob, because you guys are smaller stores like I am compared to these 3 big whales. Do you guys have a budget that you're willing to either spend monthly, weekly, whatever? Like I'll use an example. Today, I have an opportunity to get 4 very rare sets, but it is going to cost me a good chunk of coin. Now,
I'll be back in 1 second.
I don't have that budget. Do you guys specifically put aside a budget for each month, or how do you do it? Jacob?
Most of the stuff I get from my inventory is just stuff I get from my own personal collection. So if I'm buying a set, it's for myself. And it's like I buy like 1 to 5 sets roughly each month. So whatever extra pieces come from whatever set, that's what's added, I guess. Does that make sense?
Derek?
I don't have any like budget set up yet. I've only been doing it for a few months, but I keep on track pretty good of my finances. So I just pretty much, can I afford this? If it's within my range of what I want to add to my store, I'll buy it. If not, I don't buy it. I've seen a lot of good deals pass me by, but that's just how it works, right? You don't have a lot of money to spend on stuff. But
So
There's always another deal.
You big guys there, like you guys do you have a certain margin you have to hit to buy it? Or do you just say buy it, for instance, just to maybe hold it for a little longer? Because as many people now know, that gold or that Lego is better investment than gold sometimes. So
We've got some targeted sets that we started buying a little while ago with our increased profits. And I think we're buying those with the intention of keeping them as sets for
investments.
those gold sets.
Yeah.
And we just keep track of what we've got. So the store's got a budget, and then the two partners have a budget. And so we get paid out when the store makes money every month. And then the store, if the store can afford to buy, buys. But usually if it's a 50 or 60% off, it's an automatic buy because Lego's never that cheap.
Yeah. You, Marshall?
Hit or miss. If I wanted to buy it, if it's going to be a good deal. The Lego money that I make here is kind of like if I want anything of my own personal stuff that I can't haggle with the wife to buy. Like if I want to buy a smoker, I use my Lego money, and she can't complain. So if I have the money in the bank, I buy it. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah, I just did that. I went and bought the Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian helmet with my Lego sales. Now I wear it around the house, and I get made fun of all the time. And Brad, I assume you just buy whatever you like.
Yeah, right. I wish. No, it didn't take as long as I thought it was going to do to actually get rid of my personal money in and have it all be just business money now that I use for purchasing, which is great. So there is definitely a budget there. I buy based on margin, of course, with exceptions. A lot of longtime customers, or even some newer customers who I find may represent a longer term customer. I can easily take less margin in order to help them. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. Plus, there's just some real neat stuff out there that I just got to have, so I just go and get it when I want to. But that's just for me.
Brad, would you be willing to share your current stock value? Even if it's a numerical amount of sets, like somewhere in the
dollar value, I'm pretty close to six figures now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's current stock?
That's current stock.
Jeez. My Bricklink store just said I got over 10,000, and I was like, oh, yay.
Congrats.
That's nothing.
No, it is. It's a big deal, right? It's a big deal. Everybody has to start out somewhere. Just because I have all this stuff doesn't mean I didn't start out with like you. My first sale, I made $5. Like, I remember I went to trade shows. I did a bunch of trade shows.
I find that people don't invest enough, like, back into what they're selling. Some people invest too much, and I probably did that by buying way too much. But I find most of my profit or anything just goes back into buying either more stack, or I use the Princess Auto, so more of the stack on Princess Autos, or I just bought myself an address label maker because my writing's horrendous, and stuff like that makes it a little easier. And honestly, I love my label maker right now. So
yeah, you'll get to the point where all of a sudden there's nothing left to spend on. Don't worry.
Oh no,
money will start coming back into your pocket.
I'm at that point now. It's just
I think with spending, when we're talking about spending, like I finally got my last white whale that was on my list the other day, so that's going to help free up a lot of extra cash too, right? So the white whale are always going to cost a lot.
What was it?
The ATOT.
Oh, okay. I saw someone selling one of those brand new, actually.
A lot of my business expenses right now are advertising.
So how many of you guys invest then? Like buy sets to hold on for a long time, and because I've noticed a couple other Bricklink sellers I've talked to has been buying investment sets, and I personally have two. One's burnt me, the other one's been good, but that's just the way it goes sometimes.
That's the problem, catching the lightning, right?
Yeah. I've only done that recently with a full line of specific sets, and I only plan on holding on to them for as long as possible, I guess.
Or not even investment sets, even like figures. Like you look at that Pike figure that came out in one Star Wars set, or Cad Bane, or the Rancor. Like last year, I think I sold a Rancor for $40. What's that worth now? Like over 100?
You can do well,
Well,
with
there's
figures
two
and stuff, investing in
there's
space
two
too. is so
ways
big.
two ways
Yeah.
I think to look at it. One, you can hang on to one piece and make more money, or you can sell 20 of the same pieces at less money and make the same amount of money. When you sell the 20 at less, this is just, I'm just an example, throwing out numbers. You sell the 20 at less, you're constantly rotating your inventory and you constantly have income coming in, as opposed to having that one piece where you're waiting for the same dollar value. So that's really, are you going to get the same amount of money at the end? Yeah, probably. There's an argument to be made that it's actually costing you money, and it's costing because you have that money tied up in that figure, when that money could be used to buy new inventory, to sell new inventory, to constantly make money.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people are buying up Obi-Wans with the Obi-Wan series coming out.
Mhm.
And I didn't really, there's so many variants of it.
Yeah.
I don't see the value of it really going that high. So I don't know. I was just kind of curious if anyone else bought figures to hold on to, for instance.
There is a window where you can make a little bit more money on something because of a trend, but that's exactly what it is a trend. It's not sustainable in the long term.
Yeah, look at
You
those.
can make money from like quick flips, but I wouldn't try to hold on to stuff for very long.
Well, I agree with Brad 100%. It takes up space, ties up cash. And that's one of the things that investing is kind of still very new to me.
Yeah, a lot of people will buy sets. UCS Falcon, for example, and they'll sit on it, and 5 years from now they'll sell it for 3, 4, or 5 times of whatever it wants. Look at all the money I made, but in that 3, 4, or 5 years, I've made 10 times the amount of money that they have, because I've sold a bunch of things for less, and I don't have that money tied up. So that money that would be tied up in that has allowed me to buy other things that I keep turning over and selling. So that's my business model. Other people do what I said previous. They'll buy a set, they'll wait till it retires, and then wait a couple of years and then sell it for more money. So, but to me, everything back here, and this is from a couple of decades in logistics and warehousing, and just having that background, everything that is back here, everything that's under here right now, even though it's in my house, it's costing me money. Right? It's just sitting there. It costs me money.
So is all your stock in your house then, Brad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a rider out of my insurance. Which I would suggest for anybody to do if you're keeping it in your house, by the way. Call your insurance company and get a rider taken out to cover your Lego.
Even your own personal collection.
Yes.
Yeah, take pictures, write it down. I know I talk to lots of people, and they're like, "Oh, my insurance company says I'm all good, I'm covered."
Nope.
No, you're not.
Nope.
Not when you sit there and say you have $100,000 worth of Lego in your basement. Nope.
I got photos, videos, and receipts for almost everything,
Yeah.
And even then, I have no doubt they'll try and screw me on some of it, and I expect that.
So how many people actually collect as well as resell? Okay. See, that's what I love
I'm
about
a
it.
collector builder.
Yeah, I know you don't resell really a ton, Rick, but that's nice.
Well, like I
wow.
said, through
Beautiful.
Kijiji and Wifey, but yeah.
That's what I collect, guys.
That's
Brad,
awesome.
how long have you been waiting all night to do that?
Oh, forever. I was waiting for someone to
And
ask.
look at the one that's in the back of the photo, you see. Is that the boat?
That's the boat.
Yeah.
I got some monorail if you need, like brand new.
Yeah. I'm always up for monorail.
Someone on one of the Facebook groups, I don't know which one, they posted a haul.
Adam.
Box. Was
That
it
was
Adam?
Adam. He did that this week. I talked to him about it because
Monorail.
Yeah,
Where did he get all that?
he got it. I think he drove an hour, he said. Because I was talking to him about that because he told me what set it was. I'm like, I have that exact set. And I have the stuff he's missing from it. So we're.
Yeah. When I started this, I told myself I could collect one thing, because there was just too many sets that came in and too many themes that came in and too many awesome things that came in. And it's like, okay, I want that and I want that. And I'm going to have that. Like, honestly, it wouldn't make a dime. So I could collect one thing. So classic space, that's my thing.
Oh, Tyson's showing off now.
Oh, nice.
Oh, hang on.
Beauty.
We can do better than that. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Ho, ho, ho.
It's the grainy Alberta internet now.
Let me unplug so it's a little better. Sorry.
And I see the IKEA metal cabinets, I think.
Ooh, brickheads.
Nice.
Ooh.
Buddy,
And
of mine
I need
likes
to
the
put those
brickheads
all
as
away.
well. He's got
Where did you
everyone.
get those display cases from? Those are beautiful.
They are old from IKEA. I've
Okay.
carried them with me through 2 places. They've been through a flood. And then when we redid our basement, I actually had our builder build them into the wall.
All that Oiler stuff kind of ruins it, but that's okay. I respect Everly, but that's about it.
He signed it, so you know.
Hey,
The
He's from
fake
Saskatchewan.
$25 jersey.
just saying, he's
Before
from
he got-
Saskatchewan.
Traded for a bunch of pucks.
Which
Excuse
got
me,
traded
sir,
for
no
a
swearing.
Yeah.
$bucks.
Yeah. That trade didn't work out so well for the Oilers.
Marshall, are you the is you and your wife the couple that's been selling a lot of new sets on Facebook?
No, my
Okay.
wife has zero to do with Lego.
Okay, because I went to
She's helped you pack.
Yeah, not anymore. When in years 1 and 2, she kind of helped out, but not anymore. She's like, it's too big. I can't tell. She's like, my Lego room, like I got rejected to like my store is in the furnace room, and like probably the majority of Bricklink sellers out there. She's like, it's just too much. I can't deal with it. But I was gonna sit there and be like, this is what I've been working on, and I got to thank Brad for bringing that up. So this is the
figure
whole
wall.
CMF figure wall.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Nice.
Do you have every series?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I got 35 left to go. 35 figures. You know,
Nice.
except for Mr. Gold, I don't have that.
I've been privileged to hold a Mr. Gold in my hand once.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I went to a friend's, or he's become a friend, and he's a major Lego collector, builds a city, and I was looking at his stuff, and he had a Mr. Gold. I'm like, is that real? He's like, yep. I'm like, can I touch it? He's like, for sure. So I took a selfie with it. I'll be 100% honest.
Yeah. Well, what got me into figures when first time I went over to Rocky's basement there, and I tell you, man, if you're in Edmonton and you know Rocky, it's worth checking out his figures.
Unreal.
Is all this stuff put away though? Still, I saw you was renovating.
Oh, it's still
He
it's
put
out.
the sets away, but the figures and the big stuff is all out.
Oh, that's one thing. I wish I could come to Edmonton once a week to see that stuff. That's awesome. I want to see your warehouse, Tyson. That's what I want to see.
It's not that impressive.
It always is, man. It's as I said.
I'll post some pictures once I clean it up. We've got some things to square away, but then I'll put some pictures up on the Facebook group.
No, like the
Thanks
first
for
store I
coming,
went
T.
to.
Take her easy.
First store
Yeah,
I went to was into
thank you.
Sumo Bricks, and it used to be Pat Cam Bricks in Regina, and he's like in some basement of a office building or something. And I looked, and it's small, it's cramped, but it was just so for a new Bricklink seller like when I was then, it was so cool to see. It's just the all the cabinets and how everything's numbered, and as you say, you have a pick path. That's stuff how you learn to improve your store.
It's always cool to see everybody's setups and talk to everybody and how they do it. New store, old store, it doesn't matter. I'm always learning something from somebody else.
There's always a better way of doing something, right?
Most recently, I saw someone post on YouTube. So they took the blue stackers like Derek's got behind them, whether they're Princess Auto or Mastercraft, doesn't matter. And they put it on, I guess, 2x4s, and then put sliders on the roof and on the floor of their basement, and then created these walls. So there's about a 1-inch gap between each wall of these stackers. And it's just an incredible use of space, and they know where everything is, and they put a special number on each side so they can pull out and have 15. It's heavy, no doubt it's heavy, but they're pulling out a whole wall of it, get access to it, and they can shift them back and forth. I thought that was brilliant.
You know what, Rick?
I've
I
seen
looked into
smaller
doing that.
versions of that in Home Depots for parts, but it's like to see it on a scale taking up half a room. I thought that was incredible.
I looked into doing that because they have a Princess Auto, the sliders you could buy for that, and when they're on sale, they're like $8 or something. They're actually not that expensive, but the amount of wood you'd need is quite a bit because So for me, I think I looked out each row would cost me about $700 to do,
Right.
and so it can get
Marshall was
expensive.
just going to evaluate whether he can do it in his room.
It's a good idea. It's definitely a good way to figure it out.
But yeah, and they were only gapped out like maybe that much, and I thought that is incredible. Because most of us, we just have a few walls. Maybe you might make an interior wall or whatever to have them divide up a space, and then what are you going to do? That was a great use of space.
Good question up, Rick.
How often do you guys adjust your prices? Some pieces skyrocket in value, like the roof pieces to the Java's Pal. Yeah, everyone wants to update that set because everyone hates it. Do you see it coming and raise your price? Yeah, at what point do you just, pieces are sitting in your inventory 3 months, 6 months, whatever. At what point do you decide you got to change the pricing?
I used to update yearly, but I've been too busy.
I don't touch my prices.
So you set your price, and you forget it. You just
Yep.
let it ride. Okay.
The only thing I do perhaps is lower the price if it's something that I need to get out because it's been sitting in my inventory too long. I price by margin, and that's it. And I don't go up to try and capitalize on trends because again, they're trends. Trends are not sustainable long term. They just aren't. Anyone who attempts to do that, you'll make some quick cash, but you won't sustain it in the long term. So price
You can
by
get
margin,
burned.
that's it.
You can get burned for sure by not checking your prices. Like I sold Prey Vizsla Starfighter. I was trying to get $90 for it. I couldn't even get that. Took it down, listed for 125, sold it instantly. Now Prey Vizsla himself sells for what, $200? So
Really?
obviously that sucks now, but if you keep living in the past, you're going to dwell on it. So don't dwell on it. Just move on.
Goes back to what I was talking about earlier about turning it over now as opposed to hanging on to it when it retires. You can look back at all the things you used to have. Oh, I sold that for this. Now it's going for this. But you know what? I've already sold it. I moved on. I bought other things. I sold other things, and so that's what
use that money to buy other stuff. I might have made more money than what it's currently worth now. So.
Yep. And again, though, it all depends on your business model, right? If you're just a hobbyist who's only wants to make a couple of bucks, then go for it.
Well, the best feeling is when you actually forget about a set you have, and then you go to either inventory it, clean it, whatever, and you're like, "Holy crap, this has gone up way more." And that's what just happened to me recently. I went through a set. I'm like, "Oh, I forgot I totally had this."
I sold my Cloud City Boba Fett when I was 10 years ago, and now it's dang, because I want to sell the complete set now. It's I got to sell it up the figures, but yeah,
So
$150 sold it for 10 years ago, and now it's it was worth that then. 10 years ago, it was worth 150, and
that's right.
Now it's crazy.
So I've been holding on to 2 Phase 2 Rexes, and I don't know if I'm ready to let them go yet or not, because I kind of want to keep them as well.
It might make a new one, and then it hurts the value of the first one, but that's not one I would hold personally for investment purposes. But,
no, I said I might keep it just for myself.
Yeah, for collection, it's good. But a lot of Star Wars stuff is hard. Not every figure is the Cloud City Boba Fett, where it's just just gonna keep going up. A lot of figures like Cad Bane, they make a new Cad Bane figure. The other one's not going to feel so appealing because usually the new ones are better too. They look nicer.
So. I want to see late 2020. Someone was selling a complete set of the Cloud City used for $80 on Kijiji here in Saskatoon. I know the guy who got it, and he said the Boba Fett is mint.
Well,
but I almost cried.
There was here. I'm trying to get the picture. Tyson, did you see this? I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago here in Edmonton for $100. I'm going to be that guy and put it up on the screen.
Hang on.
Oh, that's a beauty.
Yeah.
So you got Chrome Vader, all of the Cloud City. You got Amidala,
Darth Malice.
Nice.
You got Chrome C3PO. You got them all
for $100.
For $100.
I wanted $100.
Wow.
I hope they're all real.
I don't know.
I hope they're all real.
Yeah. How quickly did it go?
I had a friend of mine, Harley. He messaged me and he's like, "Did you see this?" And I'm like, "What?" I don't even look anymore because I'm
Cases like that, people are gonna offer way more too than 100 just to try and get it. Like,
you know, he said he messaged the guy 18 minutes in from the ad, and he said he'd give him like $500, and it was gone.
dang.
Yeah, and you know what? That's good because some people don't have integrity where they'll list something and then they don't. They'll go for the higher value if someone offers it to them. That drives me nuts. I think that's just
There we go.
being rude.
Another
Got to
good
step out for a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, this is a good question. How do you guys handle the whole "I want a lower price"? Like remember earlier, it's my birthday. Give me a lower price. Give me stuff free. How do you deal with the low ballers?
I've never really had that. I've had guys message me like, "Hey, you have these pieces." Like I parted out the bucket wheel when it first came out there, and those the orange big gears that were a quad or whatever. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, those yellow big gears, they were like $6 a piece. And some guy messaged me like a year later saying, "Hey, are you firm on this price?" And I'm like, "Whoo, that's why they're not selling." Kind of over to Brad's, you know, what he was talking about. And someone messaged me because my prices are out to lunch. I'll change my prices. But other than that, I've never had anyone say I want something for free.
Well, I find
I
it
sell,
pretty extreme to ask for free, but
I
Yeah, I
sell most of my used sets on Facebook as well. Like I have them listed, and yeah, I usually put it a little bit higher, like maybe 5 to 10% higher on Facebook than my Bricklink store, because then I have that haggle room if someone wants to do it. But if they're offering like 50% of it, I just like ignore them. But all the time I get people being like, "Hey, it's the cheapest in Canada is the same price on Bricklink, or it's a few dollars less," and it's like, "Hey, that's my listing." That they see, or it's funny when they try to haggle still when it's like, "Oh, you're on Bricklink," and no, I'll still give you 50%. It's like, it's going to sell for that, like way more than that on Bricklink. Like I already have it listed there. Why would I do that? But you just ignore people like that because
you've been doing it long enough. You're going to get people who are going to do that. I just politely respond back that I'm sorry, but this is the price that we're listing at. We currently aren't running any sales. Perhaps you want to keep an eye for one of those or something similar, some nice, polite response, just letting them know that, no, I'm sorry. This is the price. Exceptions, of course, will be for long-term loyal customers, right? But someone out of the blue, no, I'm sorry. I price by margin. This is the price. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. It matters who the person is. Like, if Rick offered to want to buy something from me, I would charge him 50% more. But if it's one of my local Lego people that I talk to a lot,
friends and enemies pricing, awesome.
if it's someone I know and who I know who will buy a lot from me, I'll usually give them a discount. And lately, like I made a Facebook page to try to bring up local sales, just local discussion, because we have a lug here in Saskatchewan, but to be honest, I think it's non-existent. Those guys do nothing to promote itself or do anything events. I know it's been a pandemic, but still can't do any of the events. But to me, it's a matter who the person is. If it's a person who's been a long time customer, as Brad said, of course, yeah, you want to try to give that person a break because they're going to come back for more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same with other store owners. Like we're all in this together, as far as I'm concerned. Some people, like I said, they don't believe that. I'll say it again, right? There's a pie of Lego market, the Lego market pie. And if everybody sort of works together to grow the Lego market, then everybody's individual slice of that pie is bigger. There are, unfortunately, more than I would like to see of people out there who think that pie should just be theirs. And so the ones who agree with that first model, I'm not gonna charge you same price. I'm just not, right? We all kind of have to stick together a little bit as well too. So you get deals, you get discounts, you get sometimes at cost, right? There's collaboration is a big thing too. If you can get involved with a bunch of other sellers and pool your resources together, your buying power increases. What you can take to shipping companies suddenly increases. Like there's a lot to it that can be investigated rather than trying to do it all by yourself. I had a lot of resources that I had to pull on and work with trying to build this up. Still not where I want it to be, but it's getting there.
Jacob, what about you since being a new store? What have you noticed?
No, nobody's really had any issues. The only issues I've really had is just like people not liking what Canada Post gives me for a quote. But that's about it, I'd say.
I have a question for someone, if you don't mind me asking. Rick, he just messaged me just text messaged me. He's watching the stream, but
This show is your show, guys.
So
I'm
it's
just a host.
his name's Chris. He's owns Little Town Bricks in Tisdale, Saskatchewan. Great guy. He wanted to know if you guys have you ever thought about an exit strategy for the Bricklink store, and what would be their ideal way to close your store if you're ready to be done. You're on mute, Marshall. You're welcome.
Just call Canada First Bricks. They've bought out 3 stores that I know of that are pretty big.
What margin did they buy at? Do you know? Because I know like the usual is what 40 to 50%, or are they wanting more than that?
If you're buying a store, it's more than that.
I don't know. Like I personally know, but I don't want to tell them what.
Okay, sorry.
Or that, but they left happy.
Okay.
Right, and like kudos to those guys being the biggest in Canada, and 4 or 5 million pieces. But if I was to get out, I would call them because they got the cash flow to do it, and it's better than just trying to sell it on Kijiji or try to get like when you're like I'm 250 pieces as well, and for me to sell to someone local here, it's just too tough.
Jacob, I know you're being new. Have you ever thought of that?
No, not yet.
Derek?
No, I haven't. No, I'm just still in that growth phase. So
I talked to a guy about
rapid growth,
and he wanted a personal account on every single thing, and I could have got it. Don't get me wrong, but I was just like, I don't know if I'm ready to do it yet. Brad, you?
If I ever wanted out, I would put everything at cost, what I paid for it, and then whatever's left, I'd give it to charity.
Wow.
See, for myself personally, this is going to be my retirement gig. I'm just doing this as a part-time, and if I were to get laid off from my job during COVID, I would have, put more into this to get it full-time, but I don't want to do this full-time yet at my age because I'm just going to end up hating it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be fun anymore.
That's my biggest worry about stores. You guys, me, whatever. Like if I were to get in, because every year, last few years, I keep playing with this idea. Rick, you got to do it. Because everyone says, oh, you got so much, blah, blah, blah. I don't have enough time, and I'm so afraid of hating it. I don't want to hate Lego.
Yeah,
that's one thing you see for sure is like burnout, and like I know I had it at the end of last year, and I closed down for a week just because I didn't even want to look at Lego.
You have to take time off. You have to have something else other than this. You cannot do it 24 hours a day. It's just like any other job. If you just imagine doing your job right now for 24 hours, right? It's all you do is sleep, drink, and eat your job. Just imagine doing that. Okay. Nobody could, right? It's impossible to do it long term. I wanted to replace my income. I've been able to do that and a whole bunch more, which is fantastic. And I'm still having fun. I'm having a great time doing it. Like I said, it hit my wheelhouse. It's not for everybody, right? For part-time selling, sure, everybody could try and do it, but it's a lot more work than what people think it is. You can't just list up a whole bunch of stuff and then, sit back and wait and go like this.
See, that's the one thing that worries me about the Lego going in the future here is, obviously gas prices are at ridiculous high and everything is more expensive. And I feel like the first thing to be cut is extracurriculars probably. And, I assume most of us run a cash positive or not negative where you don't have to, you need to sell it to live. But, other than you, Brad, but it's I don't know. I fear for the future on that aspect.
Everybody always finds money for entertainment. And you can boil it down to it. That's what Lego is. Whether it's going to get a drink somewhere, or going to a movie, or going for dinner, or whatever it happens to be, whatever your thing is, your shtick, everybody always finds something for entertainment.
Yeah,
So-
I like your positive attitude. I just feel like it's going to get very bleak very soon for people across the world, not just Canada.
Yeah, see, in 2020 was my best year, and I found that astonishing considering that COVID was just breaking out. Everyone was losing their jobs, but the government was giving out free money, and people would rather buy Lego than they would feed their family, kind of thing. Or don't say that, but you know.
Yep.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah, 2020, everyone was at home though too, right?
True, but there's lots of people, you know, if you're in the restaurant business, right? I know here in Alberta it was brutal. But I just found it was really good. It was good for me in the fact that, you know, I had one of my best years ever. Bad on I reached that GST threshold. And, you know, it's not very good. I was always told not to hit that threshold, but I surpassed it. And is that a hindrance on my sales now too? I don't know.
Because now you're collecting it and doing all that stuff.
Well, it's just I got to, you know, like everyone used to have, like, it's, you know, here's your $10 order. Oh, sorry, it's $10.50.
Yeah, it sucks.
So I love this discussion because I'm getting text messages from people and they're like, doom and gloom. Geez, you're so depressing. And I just, to me, my motto is prepare for the worst, hope for the best. You know, it's like luckily during the pandemic, my wife and I both work in she works in the grocery sector and I work in the food sector. So we're necessities. But I just, I know a lot of people aren't buying as much personally because of preparing for, the gas prices and everything else, right?
I haven't noticed anything.
I said it's personal people I talk to.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Hey, I
Not
know the
sales
gas
on me.
prices are
It's,
absolutely.
I know it's early, but it's late.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use that as a segue. Guys, this has been awesome. More than I could have expected.
Good.
I've enjoyed it. I hope some people found it educational.
Certainly did.
What do you think? Should we do this again in a month or something? Is this?
I'm game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
Thanks for adding me as a late addition.
Dude, you know what? Ken who?
Yeah.
No, hey, Ken's great, and Ken's got some stories. I some of the questions I had were more about the negative. Like we didn't go down the rabbit hole of how bad Bricklink has been to some of you guys. Ken is the perfect example of everything that can go wrong, and I thought he was.
Well, he has some issues, eh?
He had a lot of unique issues, and I fully expected to read about him in a paper one day. Go, like
He shut down in all of 2020, did he not?
something like that.
Yeah, I thought he shut down for like almost a year and a half. He bought stuff from me, and then I knew he was reopening soon.
Well, he was also very show driven too,
Mhm.
and the
Was.
lack of shows for a period of time really hurt everybody.
Well, in the West, we're fully open, so everyone's welcome out here. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I might have to move back again.
No, you can stay there. We don't want your competition.
No, I
Well,
said
just tell
I'd
everybody,
move west,
go
not
to his, just show up on his doorstep. He loves that.
Oh,
Hey, Mike,
I moved out west.
Ken, you got to come on, Mike.
I don't move to that great plain in between the east and the west. I moved out west. It was nice when I came out of Winnipeg when I was driving to Calgary and I looked across and went, oh, there's Alberta.
wow.
Yeah.
The flag's right here. And you're
See
just,
everything, yeah.
Wow, shade.
I want to bring Tyson.
Love you, man.
He's been away for a while.
Hey, do you like McDonald's fries? Then you like canola oil. That's what we make here in Saskatchewan.
Oh, McDonald's fries are the only source of potatoes in my life.
See, exactly. Rick, you should actually be loving me even more. You should say, "Hey, Jordan,
Because
send
I
me a
hate
ball
potatoes,
of
but I
canola
love
oil."
McDonald's French fries as bad as they are. And by the way, I'm cutting weight and everything through the fasting. Guess what, man? I'm still eating McDonald's fries. You ain't taking those away. I don't care if a heart attack comes with them. I love McDonald's fries. Sorry. I got to get my potatoes somewhere.
Pierogies.
So I wanted to give each of you guys a chance to mention your store name again, and if you got anything going on with your store that people can be looking at.
Okay, you go first, Tyson.
People are going to. Yeah, Tyson, you go first.
You go first.
I hope that he's okay because I took him off the screen because, like, I figured, hey, I could exit for a while. He could exit for a while, and I keep bringing him back up. And it's like, but he doesn't come back.
We went to go buy video figures.
He's not secretly macro, is he, Jacob?
No, he's got little kids.
Oh, hey.
So it's like my kids. My kids are upstairs screaming at me when I'm going to come upstairs because my wife is out. And I got to keep throwing them snacks.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing. Don't worry, Marshall. I told my kids, don't bug me, just eat this food.
Yeah.
Mine are in bed sleeping, so we're good.
Hey, Pat Cam, next time you got to come on.
Yeah, that's Rob.
All the stores that were hanging around in the chat, and I appreciate all of them. They got to come on the stream next time.
Yeah,
Rob is
sure. We'll give you even more notice and figure out how to do this. You guys have been great. So who's got something they want to promote or talk about before we knock this out? Hey, Pat Cam, camera shy doesn't work. You could be naked. Look at Jordan here. He's been naked the whole night.
He's been
naked.
Pat Cam's been texting me, asking me to, get on the camera. We've met in person though, so it's okay. We know what each other looks like. Not naked though. Don't worry. That's
so
clarified. Yeah, thanks.
What do you got going on? I know you got your YouTube stuff. So what can we look forward to?
Me?
Yeah, you must have. What's it doesn't have to be Bricklink.
Oh,
what do you got going on?
Just got the regular YouTube stuff going on. Gonna try putting out some different style videos for that. But in terms of Bricklink,
anything
Sorry?
Anything coming out tomorrow, Monday?
Just my typical polybag video.
Okay,
so,
cool.
And then just in terms of Bricklink, I'm just gonna be adding some parts throughout the week.
Now remember, promote yourself. The super stupid.
Oh yeah, guys! If you want
video,
for those
it's gonna be the best 4 minutes of your lives, guys. Check out his video.
For me, it's Thunder's Brick Den. YouTube is TMOG217. Yeah.
Marshall, what's going on? Anything?
Not much. I started getting onto the old TikTok there and was doing like speed builds and stuff like that for people. But in January, when COVID all hit everyone here, it's just kind of like put us all out, and I haven't even done a video or touched Lego in a while. So, but yeah, no, I plan on getting back on that and hoping I could be like Brixie and get a free set from Lego one day.
I mean, that's what we all want. Unfortunately, the only free ones I get are from China. Don't get me started. Jordan, what do you got going on?
Marshall?
Pardon?
You have a TikTok account?
Yep. Yeah,
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, there's nothing really fancy on there right now, but like I said, my whole plan is just to do some speed builds and stuff.
Hey man, it's just a good market.
He's got TikTok, so he's got a lot of dancing videos,
Gotta do some collabs with Tyson. There you go. You guys are in the same place. Do it.
Yeah.
No, I got just still adding parts. Working on Technic right now, and I got some inverted slopes. Other than that, just plugging away. I work shift work, so it's nice I can have multiple days off to do that. But just thanks for having me on here, Rick, as a late sub. And next time I'll go on the cam just so everyone knows they can see the beautiful hillbilly I look like.
Nice. Derek, anything we can look forward to, or you anything you want to push from the store? Or?
I should be opening my Brick Owl store fairly soon. It's all set up. I just have to open it. So we'll see.
Make sure you promote it in the group because I know it's not in the title, but Brick Owl stores are welcome, of course.
And then otherwise,
I got to think about that. I mean, whether it's changing the name of the group or making more effort to highlight Brick Owl because it just doesn't get the love in the group that it should.
And then I have like 15% off a bunch of sets and figures right now in my store. And I'm currently going through like 200 or 300 like Star Wars figures and them listed. So every day I'm putting up more figures. So if you're into Star Wars, I always have a ton of stuff coming in.
Awesome. Brad's no good at self-promotion, so we can skip over Brad.
Hasn't this whole video been self-promotion for him?
Wow.
I'm just trying to live up to Rick's hype. He always tells me, "Oh, I love trolls. Be a troll all you can."
Be a
So,
troll, yeah.
just giving him a hand here. Come on.
Yep. What's going on, Brad?
What's going on? Let's see. Well, the biggest news is we just launched our BTLG Bricks for You program. That's our new loyalty program. It's huge. Save the tax when you sign up for the program and start earning bricks. When you hit the brick thresholds, you will get immediate cash rewards, $25, $60, and $100. It's pretty amazing. It's free to join. There's no cost. It's better than Lego's VIP program. Just saying, right? You get more back because of that. I noticed in the comments, T1000, you are a Classic Space fan. I see the laugh about the special stream attendees discount code. Tell you what, buddy, you give me a PM and we'll see what we can work out for you. Okay, Mr. T1000. Everyone else, it's been great talking to you guys. This has been a blast. I've learned quite a few things. And it's been really cool talking and meeting with everybody. I can't wait till we do this again. Thanks a lot for having me on, Rick. Everybody else, thanks a lot too for everything that you guys have said, all your insight, and thanks a lot for putting up with my crappy jokes.
Tyson, closing notes. Anything going on with you, the store? It could be YouTube, it could be whatever.
I've got 10% off light gray, dark gray, and brown right now.
Old light gray?
Yep. And I just added like over 2,000 Bionicle parts, but a lot of them have sold already. So it was 3/4 of a Rubbermaid full of Bionicle stuff. So.
You got any of those?
Oh, hang on. I will give you.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Classic Space guy. Thank you.
Okay, well, this is my show. I'll close it up. Say, guys, thank you. This has been great. We ran way over what I thought we would do. I wanted to give you guys that out for an hour so that you guys could do whatever. You guys all stayed. You entertained. You taught us a lot. And I look forward to trying to do this again, maybe in a month.
Thanks very much. This was fun.
That's great.
Thank you guys.
Pleasure to meet all you guys.
Everyone in the channel,
Yeah, you
all
too.
the stores, all my regular subs, and everyone else who came by from all the places I spam. Thank you, and catch you on my next stream, maybe tomorrow night. Peace,
Sweet.
everyone.
Have a
Thanks
good
a lot,
night.
everybody.
Good night.